Are we live, Poseidon?
Si, senor.
It is the morning. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday morning here in the free world, for as long as it stays and remains free. Welcome, everybody, to the morning show. Remember, head over to patreon.com/Pantelis. If you haven't become a member of the Pantelis Nation, what are you doing to yourselves? Actually, we have extra shirts for Patreon to give away this month. I'm going to start messaging people this week because we had ordered more than we needed. So we'll give it back. We'll just start giving out more shirts this month.
The only podcast that'll give you the shirt off its back.
We actually do, yeah. We give away a lot of free shit. At the same time, we have people who tried to buy shirts that were unsuccessful. So we're going to give them a second chance. I'm speaking to Poseidon later to handle that. The man in front of me, the bald assassin, Phil Balabanos, is a very busy guy. He also makes commercials. So I know you know Phil as a podcaster. I know you know Phil as the host of Fill My Hole, where he goes around filling gaping crevices in the city. But he's also an award-winning filmmaker, and he can make a film or a commercial for you. Do you have a business? Is it in dire straits? Does it feel like you just started that business and it's actually the year 1997? Well, Phil can revamp everything. One commercial could set you straight. Bring it into the 21st century, baby. Phil, links in the description. Also, we got Poseidon on deck. He's producing this bad boy this morning. Poseidon can be found on Twitch playing video games against children. Twitch.tv/ThePoseidon69. ThePoseidon69 is his handle on Twitter and on Instagram. Follow the madman. 2 Drink Minimum dropped yesterday. Great episode. More coming. A lot of fun. Poseidon produced from the other studio. People said you seem more relaxed. That's the text I got.
Yeah.
You seem more relaxed. You had more fun. We like him behind the curtain.
It's the mescaline.
When I produce, I feel like I'm more in my element.
And Mike Ward just texted me. The Bruce Hills episode, he says, was really good. He just finished listening to it. So Pantelis podcast this week dropped with Bruce Hills. He liked it, and it's early. I didn't even know Mike wakes up this early. You might like it too. Pantelis podcast, Bruce Hills episode. The President Just for Laughs. Good stuff. Let's go over to our news, man. The man from the South Shore. The Shore Whore.
Hey.
Just Us Dads own Jiggity George. Oh my God, I'm backstage with someone. Chandrizos.
What's going on, guys?
George, what's happening,
Looking
bud?
fresh, George. Is that a new haircut or a new light?
Both.
No, the lights are the same. I'm not so sure. I don't know.
You have a glow to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you pregnant?
Are you pregnant? You have a
George?
pregnancy
Thanks
glow.
for noticing, guys.
I like it.
I want to preface this episode by saying that George texted us this morning. He says, "Fuck you guys. You do all the news research. I quit."
That's not what he said.
That's what I read.
Guys, it's a slow news day. I don't know what to do.
I didn't do any research. I was watching telenovelas.
Telenovela.
I don't understand, bro. She's his brother?
Yeah, they do that when all the soap operas. It doesn't matter what country. People make fun of Latin
they
ones.
love
the,
that shit.
The Turkish ones, the Greek ones, the Arab. They all do the same shit.
Yeah.
But they're big in the U.S. though. Those
They're big everywhere.
That's
Oh,
'cause they
the
have a lot of
Latin ones,
Latinos,
they're always big in different countries. So the Latin shows are big in the U.S. The Turkish shows are big in Greece for some fucking reason. The Turkish shows are also big in the Arab one. The Greek ones are big in like Bulgaria and all.
The Bulgars, they love it.
It's the craziest thing. You never appeal to your audience. You appeal to another audience that becomes your audience.
It's like exotic, and you're looking into another world. Except for the ones in the U.S., because it's only Latinos. Latinxes. What's the term for the plural of Latinx?
Latins.
Latinx.
Well, don't say Latinx. Real Latinos get offended. They're like,
Do they?
yeah, don't put me in a weird 21st century box.
I like calling them Latins.
What's Latinx?
It's made up.
It's a category on Pornhub. Check it out.
Because they don't believe it's the left being super racist.
Yeah.
Basically, there's no such thing to
sexist.
them as they think everybody in South America is just a different type of Mexican. So they have to group them together. They don't like you having different categories. It's the sickest in the head thing.
I like my Mexicans like I like my tacos. Mucho caliente, bro.
Yeah, it's terrible, bro.
Oh, Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah.
I just read the description and I got angry.
Yeah, it's peak.
I know, Mauricio. I
Can
only
I
said
please say
it
it?
just
Can
to
I-
be a dick. Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
But I told you this morning when I was driving here because he goes, I can't understand anymore because he saw the Sarah Silverman thing. He saw Gad Sad getting banned on Facebook, and he's like, I don't understand what's going on. It's weird. I told him because everybody refers to it as the woke Olympics, but it's not straight. It's not a sport. It's the woke circus. You need to put these people in a clown tent. It doesn't make any sense. So Gad
More of a
Sad,
marathon circus. Like it's a long haul wokeness.
Gad Sad shared a tweet
I saw.
of Viva Malik,
Veena
Veena Malik, Pakistani celebrity
Oh, is she a celebrity?
Yeah, she's like a big
'Cause
celebrity.
her account looks like a troll account that would be like, "Good morning, sir. I'm message you for marketing purposes."
Where on Twitter?
On Instagram.
I don't know about Instagram, but on Twitter, I don't think her account exists anymore. Hopefully, they got rid. But anyway, so she tweeted some things about how she appreciated Hitler killing Jews. So Gad Saad, being Jewish, he's like, I see this kind of shit every day. Like, what the fuck is this? So Facebook, instead of being like, yeah, we can't allow her to be on here or whatever, they banned his account for calling her out for showing that. He's like, what?
Maybe they misread it though. They read
No,
Assad.
I'm sad.
Assad.
Assad. Oh, Assad. Yeah, that's right. So they do shit like this a lot. You know what I mean?
It's true, and it's not like he posted anything.
He actually made a
strange.
comment.
He
commented
just said,
like,
"I
"Ugh."
see this kind of stuff every single day," and that's what he got banned for. I just feel like Facebook and all these fucking platforms, they've singled out all these big popular names,
And they're just watching them.
What'd you say?
And they're just watching them.
Yeah. Like for the slightest thing, they're like, oh, what did Gatsat say? Or like anyone that has a huge following. I don't know, man. This is fucking strange. And I don't know if you guys remember if you guys saw this last week. Finally, Facebook came out and said that they're going to keep Donald Trump banned from their platforms. I mean, look, I was never a fan of Donald Trump. I don't think I'll ever be a fan of Donald Trump. But
Because you're a pussy.
I loved him in Home Alone too.
no, but worse than that, what I hate is to have these huge fucking social media companies
Conglomerates.
decide who can post what, where, and when.
That's
That
what the Canadian
bothers
government
me.
wants to do.
No, the Canadian government specifically said they won't affect individuals unless those individuals
Are popular.
on YouTube and popular.
Yeah, I love that. We're not going to affect individuals unless someone's actually listening to them.
Did you see me?
If they're popular, we're going to...
Guibault, the heritage minister, said that I'm willing to answer all questions, right? So I asked the question on Twitter. Nobody answered
No,
me.
obviously.
And it was a simple question.
I invited him to the show twice.
I mean, I can see him being terrified of being in a room with you and being asked hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, well, they're not even hard-hitting questions. They would be like, why are you lying? No, I would ask him, okay, so explain to me this. I ask him real questions, but he doesn't want to answer real questions because even the media, which is pretty soft on them, CTV was shot. You saw the CTV journalists.
CBC went
Look, they
after
were looking at
them.
him like, what are you saying? You're just lying. You just said the complete opposite twice. Like in front of us. Like
I like
no
when
wonder
they ask him a simple question like, why are you doing, which is the question I asked, by the way, was, what is the purpose of this bill? Like, what is its purpose? Like, why are we doing this? Nothing. I mean, you'd think if you have a bill, even if it's contested or there's arguments, there's a reason behind bringing the bill forward as a motion.
So why should you choose what Canadians are allowed to watch? It's not that we're gonna choose what they're allowed to watch. It's that we want to tell them that they should be watching this, and we don't want to show them things we don't think they should be watching.
I like that he was arrested.
Yeah, that's what you said, you fucking dummy. Like, it's
I like
crazy.
that he was arrested for being a radical leftist years ago.
Oh, really?
Remember? Have you seen this?
But it's a dude. I
He
told
was
you guys,
in,
it's a
what's it
circle.
called? Not Greenpeace. Is it Greenpeace? He was in George, where he climbed the CN Tower.
He climbed the CN Tower?
He fucking climbed the CN. He rappelled off the
He's a
CN
loser.
Tower.
I don't remember that. He's a huge environmentalist.
Yeah, he's an
He was,
environmentalist and he was an
he had
activist, like a
created,
militant
what the
activist.
organization is called.
Greenpeace.
Whatever.
I don't think he was in Greenpeace.
Oh no, it's the.
It's not
I know what you're
Greenpeace,
talking about. Yeah. But yeah, he climbed the fucking CN Tower. I mean, is he fit? Sure, maybe he should be the fucking athletics minister. I don't know. But
Look, the thing that bothers me the most about this, and we're not going to talk about it because we've spoken about this in previous episodes, is the fact that he comes out and says that, guys, this is a useless conversation. We shouldn't be having it. It won't affect anyone. And then when they're asked, then why the hell would you amend it? Why are you removing that article that protects user-based content? He has no answer to
no,
that.
he does. He says,
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah.
And you're not listening to me. Like, he's like fucking Timmy all grown up.
Yeah, it's like a pointless conversation. Blah blah blah. It's not a pointless conversation. And then the other argument is, look, the government will always. In his most recent interview, actually, he said, "Look, we're not going to let the CRDC just handle this on its own. I mean, we're going to be there to make sure that they don't step out of the line. And here's my problem: why would I rely on the government to do that rather than to have a specific bill that protects me?
Yeah, exactly. Why would I rely on a
It's
case-by-case
silly.
basis? Because you know what's going to end up happening? All the content that the government sees as all right with them, which is anything that doesn't speak truth to power, anything that doesn't put them in a weird light, is fine, obviously. Like, it's such a dumb thing. It's such a... And the people that are like, no, the government needs to decide what's right for me, are fucking imbeciles. They don't belong in a free country. Go to Saudi Arabia. They'll decide what's good for you, too. No,
And to think that there are Canadian YouTubers, I mean, there are Canadian YouTubers with, millions of followers.
Yeah, of course.
But to think that they make more money than the big multinationals like Netflix or all these other ones that they're trying to regulate, like, you're so fucking stupid. Why don't you gather these big YouTubers, these big Canadian YouTubers, call them into a committee?
Whoa! Are you calling for a kill list? What's happening?
No. Call them to a committee and study. Say, guys, look, you guys are experts. How does YouTube work? How do you get paid?
I'm not even a big YouTuber. I'm a big tube. And I am offended.
You do have a large tube from what I've heard on the streets.
Oh, okay.
You're still talking, huh?
You're still talking. No,
So,
but George, but what would that help? What are you getting at?
I'm saying if you want to regulate, at least
fuck
get
off.
the information from the people
why are
that
you
have
even
it,
giving
and
them
don't
ideas?
assume that
Yeah,
you
don't
know.
even give them ideas, dude.
The genius of YouTube is that it's not regulated.
So let me give you the short and sexy version of this, guys. So over here, the government decided to get involved, the CRTC, with radio, with TV, and they fucked it up beyond repair to the point where nobody wanted, like, the CBC is a running gag for anyone with a brain. When you talk about CBC content, you laugh. You're like, yeah, it's shit. That's all it's shit. It just has to fill quotas. It doesn't have to be good, okay?
I like their Canada Day celebration coverage.
They ruined media for them. So people went on to alternative sources. People who couldn't have a voice. Let's say you have an affinity for coffee cups.
Okay.
CBC is not going to pick up that show, even though there might be another million.
I watched that show. It's James Hoffman. He's great.
There might be another million people that want to watch that show because they're obsessed with different coffee cups and history of coffee cups as well. CBC will never play that unless maybe if the coffee cup's gay, then maybe.
I don't know. That seems like a CBC
hold on.
program, though.
No. So what I'm trying to say is the internet allowed you the opportunity, especially YouTube, to start a channel about stuff like that, okay? So you can start a channel about coffee cups, about toys, whatever the fuck you want. As long as you're not out there saying, kill the Jews or something crazy, YouTube normally doesn't give a fuck.
For the record, we're not saying that.
What? No, you have to be.
Which now you can get away with, apparently. Fucking.
Oh yeah, if you're on Twitter and you're Pakistani, then you can get away with killing everyone apparently. But anyways, so they've afforded you the opportunity to maybe make some money with one of your hobbies. Sure. Something that the Canadian government would have never allowed before because CBC's not going to play that shit, which is fine. We found an alternative way of creating media, of having people express what they like, alternative media. So now that exists and it's trumping, love using that word, traditional media, like the CBC gets rattled. If you look at CBC numbers for their what they call podcasts compared to real podcast numbers, they get, even though they have all that media coverage, they get destroyed, right? Because they're not good. All their shit is garbage. So obviously they're nervous. They're like, well, fuck, people are not watching us.
Don't have Letterkenny though.
That's on CBC. That's on Crave. That's
Crave,
yeah. But so anyways, well, I don't know why you derailed me while I'm having a conversation. So the whole point is, well, I'm trying to put a point out here. The whole point is they fucked it up. When we let them be in charge, they fucked up media for everyone. We cannot allow this to happen again because all these voices that you like, all these shows that you like on YouTube, everything would be in danger. Now, obviously, they're not going to attack toy stuff and all that initially because what's the point? It's not competing with them. Like benign stuff out there, like things that are unboxing of toys. They're not going to care about that either way. Okay, however, podcasts, talk shows, anything that calls them out on their bullshit, these kind of shows, of course they're going to go after. That's the whole point of this. The whole point why they're doing this is to be able to censor shit like that. It's crazy.
I don't disagree with you, but they did go after toys a while ago. You remember this?
What?
The benign toy shows, they had gone after them.
I don't remember that.
I remember like 2 years ago.
They can't go out. How'd they go after them? They weren't.
Because people were embedding other stuff into... Is that a paper straw?
Yeah, why you giving me these fucking paper straws, bro?
Where the fuck? What the fuck?
You have to like drink it faster, else it melts.
I'm blown away.
It stays pretty long.
But he wrote my name on it, so I like that.
Okay, yeah. With an S or without?
Without the S.
Yeah, I was late getting the coffees because apparently the people who sell him ice have been shortchanging him on the bags. And he noticed today.
Somebody's been... Who shortchanges you on ice?
I don't know, but he's like, this says 3 kilos.
Yeah.
There's only 2.7 kilos in here.
He's weighing them.
Oh. He freaked out.
I don't know what's funnier.
I don't know if you're watching, Costa, but I called ahead, so like I grabbed the coffees, and then Costa went into like a fit about how he's being scammed. And I mean, it was great entertainment for me. Like I feel bad for the guy; he was pretty upset, but like it was very interesting to watch. He made a great coffee, though. I'll give him that. My point is, a few years ago, people were hiding scary stuff. Here's the problem with unregulated content of alternative media. YouTube videos for kids, these unboxing videos that have this repetitive boop, 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 and
can I beat you to the punch?
I mean, I guess you just did.
No, but what the fuck does that have to do with the government regulating it? When YouTube found out, they took care of it.
But they didn't right away. Governments had to put pressure on them when it happened.
No, it wasn't governments that put pressure on them.
They
It was
threatened
YouTube.
to regulate them. That's what happened back then.
But you can't regulate that.
I know, but the idea of that they would even
because I remember
threaten to do
that
it.
stuff, and that's why now I even have all our videos. We have to put whether it's aimed
Yeah.
at kids or not. All
and
that
that was
shit.
taken care of.
That was taken
I
care
mean,
of.
It still happens. You can still miss a few.
But
It happens.
these are outliers that don't change the fact that you don't want the government to regulate.
Agreed.
That's like saying someone posted a beheading video on YouTube, which they did a lot. The
Yeah.
government, how would the government help that? That person put it up against the YouTube doesn't say give us beheading videos.
No, of course
So until that gap stop where somebody figures out what was wrong, it was put up, right? Take it down. It would happen whether it was the government regulating it or
I mean,
anyone
I
else.
remember a time when if you wanted a beheading video, YouTube was the place to get it. Like in the early years of
Only in the
YouTube.
early days,
Yeah.
every video was on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, so
That or
now they
what was the
regulated
other one?
themselves?
E-Bombs World.
E-Bombs World was comedy. There was a lot of good stuff on E-Bombs World.
Maybe I'm thinking of Daily Motion.
Daily Motion had a lot of Daily
that
Motion has some
still
fucked up
around?
shit. I don't know.
I
Probably.
wonder. Daily Motion.
I don't know how they make money, but ads, little ads on the corner.
little
Yeah.
ads. But my point is,
I don't want the government in my business.
my point is, they use examples like that, which are outliers. You're right. I agree with you. But they use those as a way of saying, "Oh, we need to regulate shit." When in reality, you're probably right. They're just trying to censor things.
Yeah, I mean, even me. Yeah,
But at
remember.
the same time, if you're taking all of your worldviews and all the information you have and making decisions based on a specific one podcast, like if you're coming to you, for example, for medical advice, I mean,
But what does that have to do with the government?
nothing. I'm just saying, as an individual, we shouldn't have to be censored.
But
so we
again,
can be safe. You should
you're pointing out one thing that was never discussed. Like like nothing about this bill has anything to do with
I
any
know.
of that.
I'm just saying, if we shouldn't need the government for any of these things.
We
But
should.
again,
The
I'm just
government
saying,
shouldn't be able to tell you what you find entertaining or not.
That's the key word, entertaining.
So right now, I think I'm beginning to really believe this, that the best time in our lives, and we didn't know it yet, the best time in humanity was between
2007.
1995 and 2005.
Why?
I think at that point, even though we had 9/11 happen in between, I think that's when we had the freest in terms of like the internet wasn't what it is now.
It was
but
free.
It was right before all that shit peaked. People, music, all that you could say whatever the fuck you wanted. You liked it or you didn't like it. There was the cancel culture didn't exist.
No,
It was
not
you don't
yet.
like something, you don't go for it. Or you tell fuck that, I'm gonna protest. I don't like it, but it ends there. No one was calling for the death of an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now. It was just that little peak, and we still
I
had
think it
just enough
lasted
technology
longer
to
than
help us out.
2005. It lasted a little longer than 2005.
No, it started to go down. I mean, even ever since then, it started to tick, tick, teeter. Every year was getting worse and worse, and now it's to the point where if you're misunderstood, if somebody takes something out of context, it'll still wind up on the front page because they don't give a shit about context or truth. They just give a shit about eyes, views, and sound
I
bites.
had a weird dream last night. I can't remember it now, but
Was it sexy?
no, not at all. The basic gist of it was I said something on the podcast that was taken out of context, and Trudeau called me to tell me off. Like that was my dream. I was like,
What the hell are you thinking
And I
of,
woke
man?
up this morning. It's because you sent me that Joe Rogan clip last night, which was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
But I saw the original interview.
No,
so watching it after, I was like, what the fuck? You can make anything seem like anything.
Of
right?
course,
And I know
like
that.
because Joe Rogan, there's hours of him speaking, so you
Yeah.
can make him look like. But it was just what I sent Phil, so you guys know. It's just
so
a
good,
clip
though.
that they made. It was It was Joe Rogan, but it was an edited interview.
Mm-hmm.
Him and that what's her name? The woman that was on.
The one who rode across the world.
Yeah. So they had, but they just clipped it differently, so it made it look like Joe Rogan was trying to bang her. And unless you're dumb and you don't realize that it was fake, but it was very funny. Just the way he
I
was
love her
talking.
answer. She's like, no.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna like it.
Core strength.
Yeah.
You want to get pregnant? Let's get
Yeah,
pregnant.
let's get pregnant. Yeah, it was very funny. So, but all that's what you could do now. So you can take for
you can
dummies.
do anything.
Remember they did this remember people that were taking shit out of context and people were getting in trouble or this happened. This even happened when
This has been happening forever.
was Vic Berger was fighting Gavin McInnes, I think, online. So Vic Berger at one point, because he had said something that wasn't true. So then he just started to doctor footage to make it seem like he had said something. And it's like, yeah, there's so much footage out there of guys like me that talk all the time on these podcasts. You could, if you want, take it. And if an idiot doesn't do any research or doesn't look at the lighting or whatever, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's all in the same interview. That makes sense." Like it's crazy.
One of my favorite things to do when I work with clients who I feel may not pay me or I have clients that I've worked with over the years who I do not like. They're
okay.
clients, they're paying clients, so whatever.
I gave you one of those clients. Da-da-da.
They're all right, actually. But I've had some real assholes over the years, right? And a few of them, when they say stuff like, well, listen, you missed your deadline. I'm like, that's because you guys haven't answered in a week, whatever. They're like, yeah, so we want a discount. I'm like, remember that time I had 2 cameras on you and you were saying a bunch of racist shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you should probably pay me. They're like, yeah, well, the money's tomorrow. We'll have the money tomorrow. Never
Yeah.
piss off your video guy.
That's so fucking.
Because people, once they sit down and they get comfortable, they will say some obscene fucking shit.
Speaking
when
of
they think
comfortable,
no one's watching.
I got a very good compliment from a few people this weekend about my interviewing skills on the Pantelis podcast.
I think you interview quite well.
Yeah, on both languages, apparently. I keep getting stories and sides of people that don't normally come out in podcasts. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't know. I don't have a technique or anything like that. I just shoot the shit with
You're
people.
just curious.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't have like, first of all, I don't have an agenda. I've never sat down and be like, okay, we got to get to this. There's some questions that I want to ask someone because I'm curious about them or it's important. But in general, every interview is kind of the same thing I would ask if we were just chilling at the cafe.
I mean, hanging out at the cafe in our teen years was probably the greatest practice for podcast interviewing.
Yeah.
Or even for the interviews I do with clients. Like people have told me, they're like, you're a great interviewer. I was like, I'm just curious. Like I don't have a goal. I just want to know things.
I just ask questions.
Yeah.
I just go with it.
Yeah, because I remember we'd show up there in the middle of the afternoon skipping school, and there'd be like 6 40-year-old strangers there, and you're like, what's these guys' story? I'm curious. I'm going to go talk to those guys.
Yeah.
One of them was like George, and he's like, yeah, I play music, but really I'm a communist, you know?
George, not a communist. George,
used
you a
to be.
communist? I
He
will
used to
fucking
be.
throw you off this
Look at
podcast.
him. George, say something. You have any news? You haven't said anything.
Hey, George, didn't your buddy Jagmeet Singh say that if you don't want to wear a mask outside, if you're scared of getting the vaccine, you're an alt-right racist?
He put everyone in the same boat. He basically, if you are an anti-vaxxer, if you are
Anti-lockdown also.
Anti-lockdown, anti-mask, like if you have any objection on anything happening around COVID, you are an extreme right-wing supporter.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Sounds like when you group people together like that, that's what racists do. That's interesting. Also, what does the word hypocrite mean? Because as far as I know, he's supposed to be for the future, for green light. But we all know that when the cameras are off, he prefers to roll in Escalades, gas guzzling Escalades, because they look cooler, because it's all an image, and he's a phony.
So just remember that the next time you see an orange Escalade flying down the highway,
An orange
Jagmeet Singh is driving it for you.
It's interesting how communism works. You give up everything. We got to share it. No, I'm not sharing with you. You fucking crazy. You're a peasant. It's interesting how communism works.
I love it every time you bring that up.
He was very much criticized, but it won't be the first time. And
No.
This guy. Bro, racist gonna racist. What are you gonna say?
Jack
Fuck
Layton
this
is
guy.
rolling in his grave.
Could you imagine that? My business, I would like you guys to lift the lockdown a bit. My business can't last another month being closed. Why are you racist? What a crazy motherfucker to say
What's
that.
This is a term for that, right? Not straw man. When you just group.
He's gaslighting right now. Is what he's gaslighting the whole country. He's trying to get neighbors to fight
that's
neighbors.
not the one I'm thinking of.
But that's what he's
another
doing.
One. Yeah, he is. He's fine.
But this is a dangerous game. These
Yeah, he's
motherfuckers are
playing a game where he's gonna have idiots being like, "Wait a second, are you telling me my neighbor that wants to open up his restaurant? Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't see
hates
it.
black people.
That's why he wants to open up his restaurant so he could kill minorities. That is insane.
And it
Like,
tracks so well.
Yeah.
And if people are smart enough,
What
they
is up
catch
with your
up.
hair? I just noticed that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I woke up like this.
It's just standing in the
I
back.
know. I woke up like this.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It is rooster-esque.
Le coq sportif.
He doesn't have a camera on him today, but it's definitely rooster.
It's
rooster-esque.
interesting.
Thank
Yeah.
God
Very
I don't have
interesting.
a camera on me today.
I mean, before I didn't notice it because you were leaning back, but now that you lean forward, I just. It's very. I like it. You're supporting the native fight. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, with your headdress.
I like it.
Yeah.
Go on, Chief Monk.
Yeah. Did you see that cultural appropriation?
In other
shit I
news,
shared?
just on a lighter tone, I mean, congratulations are in order, right? Pantelis had a
All right,
nice
stop.
little weekend there.
Well, everybody's got to stop bringing up that kind of shit, bro.
I
Go
did
on.
no such thing.
You go back to the news.
Why
Don't
are you
worry about
avoiding?
me.
Well, that's a nice happy moment. Even Mike Ward brought it up on your podcast
He
the
did.
other day.
Mike did. I'm
Yeah.
surprised, but I was good. I didn't say nothing.
Why wouldn't you say nothing? The guy got married. We should fucking be happy for him.
Bro.
Good for you.
Takami says, bro.
It's okay.
He told me to keep it on the low low.
Yeah, I keep my shit on the low
Plus,
low.
when we were leaving, there was a fucking helicopter, and I'm convinced it was the paparazzi.
I know you saw that. That was hilarious.
Is that why we're keeping it on the
I
low?
told him, I'm like, get in the fucking limo, bro.
I got the fight with the limo driver.
Yeah,
You
video
guys have
footage-
to see
you have the
Pantelis
video
angry
footage.
in a tuxedo. It's phenomenal. He was so angry. I'm like, why are you so mad? Because he's fucking stupid. I'm gonna go talk to him. And he starts like fucking marching over there in the fucking tuxedo. Puts on his sunglasses. I go, this is gonna.
I yelled
it's
at
gonna end
the
badly.
entire company. I yelled at him. Then I called his boss. I yelled at
The
everyone.
other guy was weird.
The other guy felt
He
bad,
seemed
bro.
like a budget, like a dollar store. What's that fucking Australian Greek actor's name?
I have no idea.
The guy from not Cliffhanger, from Cliffhanger. Come on, Alex Mandalore, or the older brother, whatever. Anyways, the guy from Big Fat Greek Wedding, the younger brother. That's who he looked like, but like the dollar dime store version of him. He was just like, I don't know where this place is. Do you have a car?
By the way, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
The friend of ours is gonna be here later on.
Oh, good. Fucking guy, bro.
Is he a friend of mine also?
He's a friend of
He's a
yours.
friend of yours as
He's a
well.
friend of ours.
He's a friend of
Friend
ours.
of the show.
I don't fuck around with limo drivers, honestly, because you have no idea who's behind the company. I remember one of my friends' my friend's wedding. I was a groomsman, so we're in the limo, and we're going through downtown. I can't remember why we're downtown, but anyway. And there was this huge demonstration. It was one of those establishment, all these losers, you know, like
Whoa.
George.
What do you mean losers
the
anti-establishment?
anti-capitalists and all
Oh,
these
that's
things.
stupid. Yeah. You're talking about communists.
So we fall smack in the middle of these guys. So imagine all these guys with their weird ideology coming across a limo. You know what I mean?
The ultimate
Oh, yeah,
symbol
they
of
thought that.
capitalism.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
you
the
know,
rich,
so-
aren't you? No, bro, it's a wedding. What is a wedding?
So we're stopped at the light, and there's like thousands of people, and there's a group of like 3 or 4 of them that come and they start banging the limo.
No.
They're having sex with the limo.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They're like banging on the limo. So we're like, oh no, come on, bro, not today. Like seriously, what the fuck? So the guy steps out of his car, and we all come out. We're like, dude, just get back in. We don't have time. He's like, I'll fucking kill you. You touch my car, I'll fucking kill you. You hear me?
Can I just say I'm with this limo driver right now? That's his property.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, fuck, we're gonna get mobbed over here. Like we're gonna go back to the reception hall, bloody and
Bloody
everything.
fucking torn up, looking like a zombie fucking flick.
Yeah, but don't fuck around with limo drivers, guys. Honestly, you don't know who owns these companies. Chances are that, you know.
I live my life by one simple motto, which is if I don't know who they are, you know how people are like, you know who I am?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. 9 times out of 10, I don't. But the real truth is, if you can make them question who you are, because I'm nobody, but if you can make them question it, you'll be fine. They're like, wait, who is he?
Also, 10 out of 10 times, somebody that tells you, do you know who I am?
They're
Is a
nobody.
They're nobody's yet.
Yeah, but then all it takes is for that one time that there's someone and you're acting all fucking smart.
Nah.
You get
I mean,
bullet
after this
head.
morning's ICE episode, I was talking to my wife in the car. I was like, why do Greek guys have such rage issues?
The fuck is that supposed to mean? I don't understand.
I mean, you got, even you.
I don't have any. What are you talking about?
Apparently
Look at
it's
this!
not
Look at this motherfucker
I
right now. I'm
also-
gonna flip this goddamn table. Huh?
No, it's not stable yet. I haven't fixed it. I've seen you. You fix. You get so mad.
That's true.
You know it's true. I've seen you get so angry about. I mean, things that should make you angry, no problem. Be angry. But like, you're not any better, so you'll get that look off your face.
Oh, no, I know I'm not
You'll
any
just
better
go
at all.
off, and you're like, "Fuck," and it ruins your whole day. I'm
That's
like, "Why
true.
are they so mad?"
That is a fact.
Like, that's not. I mean, sometimes I do too, I guess. But like, the ice really opened my eyes to it. This
I think I know what it is.
Tell me. Is it Nule Grec? Is it one of those things?
No.
Okay.
I think it energizes us. That's where we derive our powers from.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I like to lean into the rage. It makes me feel good. It's fun.
I
but not
don't know
every
what you guys
day.
talking about. I am a calm soul.
No, we're all
Youthful.
calm. But also we can go 0 to 100 like
To
man,
I'm sorry. To a what?
To a what?
100.
What
100?
was that
100.
number?
100.
Sure, okay.
No, but I read something yesterday too. Like someone was like, "Why are Greeks so angry?"
Watch this. Is gonna end in a DNA sequence. Go on.
Oh, no, just that was
Oh,
it.
that was the whole
yeah,
thing.
it
Okay.
was yeah.
I thought it was gonna
You're
be like I
making
read
me
about
mad.
our DNA,
Apparently,
bro.
it's a common thing.
You're making me
You
mad.
have a little eyelash right here.
We found the common
Should I take it off
denominator
for you?
in
The
that
viewers seem to
studio.
like when I touch you.
Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone. Make a wish. Oh, no, actually, no. Look at me. Look up because the lights. Now you got it.
Thank you.
I think I know what it is though. I think it's the fact that
You're just gonna repeat yourself.
Constantinople doesn't belong to us anymore.
Okay, nonsense. Let's
Yeah, let's move on.
He said enough stuff on this show that if he had a Greek passport, they would take it away from him. He's
He
said
lost his birthright.
yeah, he said enough anti-Greek things that I'm gonna mention to Thomas when he goes back on the show when he says Nule Grec. So they go up. Toi t'es Turc. Let the Greeks talk about Greeks, and you and your dad could talk about Turkish affairs.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's move on. We spoke about the reform for Bill 101 on a couple episodes. Finally, this long expected reform will be tabled officially tomorrow.
Reform of what?
For Bill 101. So we're talking about the whole French language debate and all the amendments that they're going to make and how crappy I think it's going to be.
I don't want it to be me, George, but I'm going to be the one to save the people. It's going to end up being me because I don't trust the government anymore. I feel like they're dividing everyone on fucking purpose. I'm going to say it one last time. Don't fucking fall for it. Don't fall for it. They're going to get you to be mad at your neighbor because they're English, or they're going to get the French people to be mad at your neighbor because they're fucking French. Whatever the fuck they want to do, don't fucking fall for it. This is stupid. This is nonsense.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's
So,
right.
I mean, look, and there's been quite a few heavy issues, right, since the government has been elected. We're talking about the immigration reform. We're talking about the state secularism bill. And so the government is adamant about sending this whole issue into a debate. I hope there's a debate, and I hope that they don't send they don't force the vote like they've done with other bills. So so that's what's going to happen. So tomorrow the government is tabling these these amendments to Bill 101. There were a couple rumors that I picked up in the papers yesterday and today. Basically, we're looking at around 200 articles that are all dealing with aspects of Quebec's language laws. We're talking about from commercial signs to the right to work in French, a review of the bilingual status of certain municipalities, which we spoke about last episode.
Municipalities, I like that.
Also, and I'm not sure if we mentioned this already, they're also expected to extend the French certification process to companies with 25 to 49 employees, which before it wasn't the case. I think before it was over 50. So now they're bringing it even lower. So even smaller companies are going to have to adjust to these measures. The one thing that worries me is what Legault has already stated about extending the charter's provisions into the CEGIP system. He said he doesn't want to impose Bill 101 in the CEGIPs, but he said that he's been looking into perhaps applying a cap on enrollment in the English system, which for me makes absolutely no sense at all. And the other thing that is even more worrying is that, and this is not too long ago, this we're talking about last month, he confirmed that his government has the intention to make use of the notwithstanding clause again to be applied in this bill as well.
All right, all I hear is yap, 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 George.
It's le yap.
Give it to us straight, all right? Give it to us short and sweet. What do we need to worry about? What's happening?
What we're worrying about is that there may be a lot of things that are unconstitutional, but at the end of the day, won't make a difference because he's going to invoke the notwithstanding clause, just like he's doing with Bill 21, which is the state secularism bill. And this is a huge thing. Honestly, touching on the language debate has always caused a stir here in Quebec, especially with the English-speaking communities and obviously the ethnic communities as well, right? And I think we've said it before. There's no point in repeating ourselves. I mean, we all support the fact that we need to promote the French language. It's just the way that we do it that is very important. And imposing these things, for me, is really not the right way to go. We had a huge conversation last episode on the reasons behind this. I obviously think it's an electoralist agenda. He's going after his votes. He says that nobody really cares. Nobody really it won't impact too many people. This is a useless debate. I mean, we need to defend our French language rights and all that stuff.
So anyways, George, short and sweet, because you're boring me to death here. I get what he's saying because it's the same fucking thing he's mulching over day to day. But what he's saying is false. He's using words like we have to protect the French language to scare people, but his tactics are useless. Now, I have another question for you, George, related to this topic. Your friend, Valérie Plante, your friend and current Montreal mayor, did you see her tweet?
No.
About what?
About the Montreal Canadiens.
What'd she say?
She said...
I wanted actually to talk about the Montreal Canadiens.
Perfect.
You're talking about the team not having any Quebecers in the lineup?
Yes. She said the team doesn't have any Francophones in the lineup and that they should do better in supporting Francophone. I'm going to say a couple things. Number one, it's a business. People want to watch a team that wins. Okay. Number two, if the Montreal Canadiens, because French Canadians are pretty good hockey players.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's people of super high caliber that the Montreal Canadiens could have, and they're like, you know what? No. Because they're that's absurd, okay? So what you're asking for is to force people in the lineup that maybe are not as good as the ones that they could get because they speak French, which is fine for people who care. You're not talking to these players, you're letting them play. It's fine for people who just care about what they speak, but you could have a shittier team. You honestly think Montreal Canadiens fans and the business is going to do better with a shittier team as long as they speak the right language? It's fucking crazy to me. And also hockey is a rich person's fucking sport. So when you're talking about looking at Quebec, and if you play ice hockey and you want to play ice hockey dude, it's not cheap to send your kids to ice hockey for all those fucking years. It's really, really fucking expensive. So there's also
you'd be surprised how many French or Quebec families actually invest in it. Now, the fact whether they make it or not is besides the point. But like you said, yeah, there's a lot of money behind it. Like they do hockey camps and all that stuff. They send their kids to the U.S. And there's a lot of families that actually invest money. But it's funny that you bring it up because I had it as a topic. And for the people that don't follow, basically what happened on Monday, the Canadiens were playing a game, and for the first time ever in the team's franchise, there wasn't one Quebec-born player that was in the lineup.
Did they win?
Automatically, sorry?
Did they win?
It was with Toronto, I think. No, they lost.
That's why they got mad. Had they won, nobody would have said anything. That's
yeah, exactly. But so that automatically.
Where'd he go?
But that's not how. Did he fall?
The way the sound fell up.
But that's not how these sports that's not how they work. The Montreal Canadiens are not a representation of Montrealers playing. If you want to do that, you have to restructure the whole league, where only people from Toronto can play on Toronto, Philadelphia. But that's not how the league works. So what are you bitching about?
Yeah, but that's the curse here in Montreal. I mean, the management, always like routinely faces scrutiny over over Quebecois free agents who go unsigned or homegrown talent that is passed over in the draft.
Bro, Le Cavalier didn't want to play here because of that. Yeah,
I don't know who that is.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one.
So many Quebec bro, like, I'm not gonna play in Montreal. Are you crazy? You can't have fun. The media is gonna.
The short guy that used to play also in Tampa Bay. What's his name?
Saint Louis.
Yeah, him too.
They didn't want to play here, dude. They're from here. They love the Canadiens, but they're like, I can't play for that organization because the media, everything is fucking crazy. They're gonna they're gonna have a video of me at a drive-through saying I would like it to go, and then be like, hey, why didn't you say pour emporter? Fucking hang up your skates. You're not allowed to play hockey in this team anymore. Like, it's crazy. So they don't want to play here.
The media is very tough. The media is very tough, and like, I mean, look at what they keep close tabs on, right? I mean, the number of Quebecers who have dressed up under the current general manager, comparing that in the franchise history. I mean, even the premier. It wasn't only Valérie Plante. Even Premier Legault came out and made a little statement about that. I mean, first of all, it's not your fucking business. Like you said, it's a privately owned business. Yes, it affects a huge
Also, the premier needs to calm down. A year after murdering people in old folks' homes, you'd think he'd calm his tits, right? If he cares so much about Quebec, he wouldn't have killed all those old people.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I don't know if you noticed on Monday there was a Léger poll that came out and his numbers are fucking skyrocketing. And one of the arguments, one of the in that article was, despite the fact that he had to deal with this crisis of thousands upon thousands of people dying in the senior homes over the pandemic. It's incredible how this guy's numbers are still very, very high, like to the point where they're already projecting another majority government of the CAQ in the next elections, which are, by the way, end of next year. So I don't really believe that. I've seen things in politics that
could change
that make me believe that things can change like in no time. So from now until next October, like October of 2022, there's certainly things are going to happen. I think the economy is going to tank even worse. So I'm not so sure about that statement, but yeah, I mean, it seems as though people have forgotten about that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, George. If you want him to lose, or if you need to have a good alternative. The issue now is that we don't really have a lot of good alternatives. I said this on the federal level too. Like people who are like, oh, I don't like Trudeau. I don't like Trudeau either, what he's doing. I think it's stupid. But there's no one is, there's no quality. Like, who's that guy in charge of the Conservatives? The bald guy?
Aaron O'Toole.
Yeah, like that tool. You don't see him and you're like, I got confidence in this guy. You're like, who
Yeah.
is this fucking loser? And
Well, like,
again,
look,
the
just-
conservatives
yeah,
shock
just
me.
to-
They
just to
had
play it, like,
because they have one
just
good
play
guy
it
on there
up.
that's actually verbal. He's smart. He's enjoyable to watch. He gets to the point. Pierre Poilievre, and he's not in charge of the fucking party. Like, you know how crazy that is? That's like you have a Sidney Crosby, but you're like,
he's
look,
a
Sidney,
smart kid,
you're gonna
right?
be on the
He's a-
fourth line. You're gonna play 3 minutes a game. What are you doing?
Poilievre is a smart guy, and I have people in the Conservative Party that have told me it was way more than just the reasons that he gave, which was basically, I have a young family, it's not the right time. I think he's calculated his stuff very well. He knows that the Conservatives probably don't stand a chance in the next election. He knows that it was a minority government, which means that anytime soon there could be another election. So the time frame that you have to build up that confidence in the public is very little, is very diminished. Seeing the numbers that Justin Trudeau is getting, and I think he's right. I don't think the Conservatives have a chance next election. So what will happen? The big question mark is, let's say there's another election. Chances are that the Liberals are going to win again. And we're talking about federally here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, nobody, we can't, nobody would bet on that. But based on what we're seeing now, the chances are pretty good for the Liberals. The big question mark now is, are the Conservatives going to keep Aaron O'Toole, or are they going to throw him out? So that's where he's basing himself. I think next time around,
He'll run.
he's probably going to make a more serious run.
That I like.
And as for the opposition that you're mentioning, that we don't see anyone, and maybe you're right, but at the same time, let's keep another thing in mind. All the focus during this pandemic has been almost exclusively monopolized by the leaders of the party, whether it's federal or provincial. Everyone cares solely on what the premiers or the prime minister has to say. And a lot of the opposition groups have been complaining because it's taking away a lot of visibility from them. And again, I mean, you can't really criticize the media for doing that because they care about bringing the news. We're in a global pandemic. Obviously, they don't care about the opposition. They want to know what the premier has to say about what's happening, the numbers, the strategy, and all that stuff. So I don't blame them. But at the same time, yeah, I kind of agree with him as well. I mean, they're getting very little visibility. There's very limited number of people in the House during the debates and during question period because of the pandemic and the rules. So you don't get to see everyone. Things have really, really shifted. And yeah, I mean, the leaders of the governments have, in a certain way, taken advantage of this situation just to promote their message.
Yeah. Well, that's what you would do in that position, right? You take advantage of your advantageous position.
You have every single camera pointed towards you.
You smile.
I don't blame them. I mean, and look, I mean, I'm looking at this from very, as objectively as possible. But they are being criticized by the opposition, just to let you know. And it doesn't mean that the opposition isn't necessarily good. In a different context, maybe things would have been different. You would have seen them maybe step up. Probably not federally. I don't think at the federal level there's any competent opposition. But certainly in Quebec, there's some. They're pretty strong. The opposition groups. It's just that.
The greatest thing Trudeau's ever done for this country was last year. Do you remember when he called for every sexy Canadian-born woman to come back to Canada? When he said,
that's so funny.
When he said, if you're abroad, out of Canada, if you're abroad, we need you back home. It's time for you to come home. I was like, you know what? Yeah, man, bring the broads back. Bring them, all of them.
I mean, the best thing he ever did was fall down the stairs. The worst thing was he was okay. For me, that's where it starts and ends right there.
I like that.
By the end of the fall, I was like, he's fine.
It's all a show, guys.
Yeah, it's all a show.
This guy, he's taking it to the. I mean, I don't know. It's funny. The last couple of days, I've been thinking a lot, and
a lot of people don't know. By the way, that's all a gimmick.
Why are you interrupting?
George, a lot of people don't know it's a gimmick. I just want to let that. A lot of people think that everything all that shit's real. It's not orchestrated.
I don't want to say that it's a gimmick. I mean, the guy, he's still the country's prime minister. It's just there's a lot of fucking.
It's a
there's
gimmick.
A lot of show and I don't know if anyone else sees it or if it's just me or if I'm.
You were in it. You're one of the guys that helped him get elected. So
because you were backstage, you walked hand in hand with him down Jean Talon. He did the fucking Diwali dances.
Yeah. No, I never Diwali danced. He did though.
Yeah, he did.
Pictures of it actually.
He did.
But
that's cool though. I'm all for
dancing. I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean he's fine, but that's what it is, guys. That's what Justin Trudeau is. He wants to be loved and to be liked, and it's the excess, right? He knows there's cameras around, and he's gonna go that extra mile to make sure that he gets the people get that money shot that they're looking for.
I'll
So,
never
I mean,
forget
I
when
don't
he
know.
was at the Greek community and he got up and he accidentally knocked down all the coffees on the table.
He's
just
a
got up
hater.
and he just knocked
So he's
everything
a
over.
hater of coffees.
No, he's just,
You're
he's just a
blacklisted.
fucking clumsy bitch.
You're blacklisted. Trudeau.
I often wonder what's going to
I
happen.
don't appreciate
to the
your anti-coffee agenda. I will come after you. for
Start
this.
a fucking unregulated alternative media channel about
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
What'd you say, George?
Yeah, I often wonder what's going to happen to the party after he leaves. Because eventually
He's never going to leave.
He's never gonna leave, bro. He's gonna. What else is he gonna do?
He can't stay on forever. I think he has another
Wanna bet?
election. I think the next one he's getting, he's
said
going
about
to
Putin.
announce that he can't stay on more than that. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
But-
there's no rules against it.
No, there isn't.
No, of course not. You can stay as long as you want. It's just that I don't see him doing it. But here's the thing, man, and here's the huge dilemma, because if you
How old is he
look
now?
at the party before he
50.
came in,
No.
they were in a horrible situation. Like, they couldn't get their shit straight. So the fact that Justin Trudeau came in, and I don't want to glorify the guy, but he was a fucking miracle for the Liberal Party of Canada. I mean, to get like a celebrity like him, they have record numbers in membership, record numbers in fundraising. I mean, he's the best thing
That
the party.
speaks more to the stupidity of citizens
Yeah,
than anything else.
exactly,
Yeah.
I was about to say
No,
the same
well,
thing.
look,
If
you
there's a
have to look at
celebrity
it-
involved on voting, what if everything he does is bad for you? But look, he's fucking famous.
That's so pretty.
That means that we're idiots.
Yeah.
100%. But you
Heavy.
have to look at it from a partisan perspective. The people in the party, they want to win. They want to have the best leader.
Yeah.
And they went and found him. I mean, he's pretty much the best guy that they could have ever hoped for. The question is, what
That's
happens
sad.
after he leaves? I mean,
Does Chrétien have a son?
his son?
I like
Chrétien.
Chrétien
Does
a lot.
Chrétien have a son?
No.
Does,
no, he
uh,
has
I
a
liked
daughter.
Chrétien.
What about Charette? Does he have a son? Who's pretty?
By the way,
He does,
I
yeah.
totally see like in a couple
There you
of
go.
years, like a documentary happening about Trudeau. You know those murder documentaries where it was a great family until it wasn't, and it does the.
I think they
opposite
made
thing.
that.
And then I go, he was a great prime minister option
Until he wasn't.
and it cuts to like the negative colors and shit.
Negative colors?
No, they do that thing with the image. The
Oh, where the colors they transfer, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like the negative, yeah. But, yeah, and then you have
And we
testimonies
found
of the
out he
neighbors.
couldn't count. What's a trillion? What's a billion?
There's testimonies of the neighbors. Yeah, we always thought it was strange. A bunch of people coming disguised for parties.
Yeah. Oh, George, you're giving away too much. George, you're giving away. You said you're not allowed to talk about that.
Eyes
Don't-
wide shut.
Yeah. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. I'm not friends with him. I don't care.
Oh, man.
Anyways, we don't want to
George, do you
give
ever
to
get like messages?
stop talking
from,
about the
like-
sex parties. I mean
Like from former like colleagues who are like, George, what the fuck are you saying on the internet?
No, I don't say stupid things, man. I mean,
sometimes.
no,
you say
no,
stupid
you
things.
don't say untruths, but they don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a reason
Like,
why.
there's
yeah.
a reason Bill C10 is happening. It's because
Yeah.
George changed sides.
Yeah.
just because of George. Yeah,
I said-
Shit, he's on the loose. A former political staffer
But
on the loose. We
if
gotta
George
stop
has an
this nonsense.
accident, guys, you know what really went down.
Yeah. George did not suicide himself.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
The best is George like, I will never talk about those parties online. 6 months later, these fucking sex parties.
He's a
there are
turncoat.
no
That's
sex
what he is.
parties
He's a
at-
turncoat.
He's
at
a
a pub
turncoat.
venue.
He's a turncoat.
Fucking turncoat.
Anywho,
Yeah, no, but I have been not blocked or anything, but it's like other people, like in the past, some people that I've been able to communicate with, messages back and forth, like it takes longer to get an answer, right? Like
It's like
people that are
21st
his
century
staffers or-
ostracization.
No, I don't think. I mean, they still communicate with me. It just takes a bit longer. Like I have to send a couple more reminder.
Maybe they're busy, George.
messages. What'd you say?
Maybe they're busy and you're too needy.
It's probably that. It is. I have nothing much to do now these days. So, anyways,
the fact that I know that Trudeau knows who I am and is not a fan makes me happy.
How do you know?
how do
this?
you know that?
We will talk after the show. We will talk after the show.
Oh, I want to hear this.
No, because I don't want to throw other people under the bus.
Mute the
Oh,
mics
no,
right
of
now.
course.
No,
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 Mute the
no.
mics.
I'm not going to throw our friends
I
under
didn't
the
say.
bus.
I
Yeah.
didn't say for you to say it now.
It's good to
but
have
I really-
insiders. It's good to have insiders. Yeah.
So you're saying that specifically you?
No,
they
no,
know
he, no, not they. I know that he, even from years ago, was aware of my shenanigans, and he was cool with it when I fucking voted and supported with him. But when supported him,
I don't
the
think
second I went online and started talking shit about his nonsense, then I'm persona non gratis.
I mean, although we've met many times and I've sat in a room with him and had a conversation, I'm sure he has no idea who I am.
Well, I don't know about you.
There's no reason he
Yeah.
would remember me.
Yeah, I've talked a lot of shit though.
I mean,
Oh shit.
But anywho, I'm willing. If he changes, I'm willing to change. If he becomes a good dude, I'm willing to be cool with him. But as long as he is on the side of evil, I will speak out.
How old is his oldest kid now, George?
Oof.
Like 10.
His kid was born the year that he came in, so 2008. That would make him
That's
13.
his oldest.
Oh, he's a young kid.
So I mean, 13. So in like 25 years, the Liberals have another shot.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I never mention his kids. I don't want to talk shit about the kids. They've done nothing.
I'm not trying to talk
They're
shit
just
about
children.
the kids. They're
I don't
just
like. I
children.
don't like to implicate them.
No, because George was talking about what are they going to do when he leaves.
It's strange how, and I want to be very careful here because I don't want to judge anyone, but I just find it strange how everything has, how they've built this whole aura around him and his wife. Like, remember last show I told you that they did this yoga session, free yoga session with his wife. Like, how fucking strange is that? Like, your boss's wife is going to be bending over in her fucking tights and her little top, whatever.
Idris Elba's girlfriend's gonna be doing yoga for people.
I don't
in-
understand that shit.
Shit.
But even you,
Way
how
to
can
boost
you,
morale.
how you even accept that? Your wife comes in, she's like, "Sweetie, I had an idea. There's a lot of stressed people in the caucus and in our party. I thought maybe do
Caucus.
like an online Zoom session for free for them." Like, how can you even?
No,
say
George,
that's a
because you're
great
thinking
idea?
about it all wrong, George. She didn't come in and say, "Hey, sweetie, I'm thinking of this." She said, "Justin, this is what we're doing because I like when your fucking coworkers look at my ass."
Can I just say I
And he
don't
said,
mind?
"Yes, dear."
I'm gonna be honest with you. As
Look,
ridiculous,
maybe it's normal, and
I laugh at the idea that
my
she
God.
thought that to unite the party you need yoga class. That's the only thing I find stupid. But the rest of it, I'm gonna be honest with you.
the party.
To make them feel calm or whatever because
Yeah.
they're stressed. But the rest of it, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. I honestly, I don't care about. They could do the yoga class. She could love you. What the fuck do I care? Good for her. I don't give a shit. It's not my problem. I don't give a fuck. I think it's ridiculous that she thought that's the. Like in politics, you're like, I know how to bring these guys together. They're all stressed out. Let's do yoga. That I find ridiculous. I'll laugh at. But the rest, I don't give a shit. Do yoga every week. Just because I find it stupid
You gotta
to do that.
align your chakras.
Yeah, if you want to align your chakras, I find that's the part that I find stupid. But if they're all for it, who am I to judge? I don't give a
But
shit.
earlier in this episode, you judged someone else for aligning their chakra.
Who?
I mean, maybe the escalate is what brings the chakras into alignment.
Good.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, another thing I found out
Yeah.
that we've been doing in this country that's wrong. It's not Pakistan. It's Pakistan. And it's not Sikh. It's Sikh.
Sick, yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick, bro.
Yeah. It is Sikh. It's not Sikh. Sikh is like
Isn't
a
it Sikh?
Sikh is like a fucking meat kebab over there. It's like a meat thing that they eat.
A meat kebab.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I've worked with a lot of Sikhs. They always say Sikh.
No,
So
they
I
say
don't-
Sikh because we say Sikh here. But I'm talking about.
It's like
I
when
heard,
you go into a dépanneur in Park Extension and they're like, "Hello, my friend," and you answer, "Hello, my friend," but
Yeah,
you're not trying to be racist.
Yeah,
you're
it's
just,
kind of like that because I was watching a Pakistani YouTuber who told me that.
Yeah, of
If
course.
they go, it's not Pakistani, it's Pakistani.
Pakistani.
And I was like, okay. They go, it's like a paw, not And then same thing. They go, it's not Sikh, it's sick. And then I was like, fuck, I've been saying it wrong my whole fucking life.
I mean, of course we have because we don't speak Hindi.
It's not speaking Hindi. It's like in English it's pronounced Greek, not Greg. You're like,
Yeah,
no,
but
it's
that
Greek.
is an
Greek.
English word.
Yeah.
But
an
I think
English
I think
word.
that's what you're saying the opposite. It's like
Yeah.
as if I'm off the boat and I'm saying it's not Greek, it's Greek, and you're like, say,
No,
oh, see,
no,
the
no,
Greek
no,
guy
it's
says
not. No,
that's
no,
how
no,
it
no.
is.
No, no, you're
Hold on,
both
hold on.
wrong. You're both
Sikh and sick is two different sounds.
Yes, agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
If they're telling you, no, it's sick. Sikh means something else.
But
And then we
but
still
I'm-
say
But
Sikh.
here's the
look,
difference
I've
between
never-
your
I've
example,
heard-
George. Hold on.
I've worked with a lot of these people in the community and their leaders,
These people, huh?
and a lot of them are educated and everything, and
A lot
they
of
never
them.
said it's sick. Like not some random fucking person with an accent.
Where was this Pakistani
do you mean?
YouTuber from?
Pakistan.
In Pakistan?
In
or where they
Pakistan.
living?
In
Like,
Pakistan.
Not UK or something?
In Pakistan.
Yeah, but George's example.
But the Pakistan thing, yes, I've heard that. That's I've
He
heard
said
that
it's so Greek,
very
eh?
often.
Pakistan.
But no, it's Pakistan. It's Pakistan, not Pakistan.
But it doesn't
That
roll
I've heard.
well
That
in
I've heard.
English.
But the Sikh and the Sikh, no.
The first time I heard the Sikh and the Sikh was this YouTuber. It was yesterday. I was looking and I go, get the fuck out of here. I've been saying it wrong my whole fucking life. Pakistan, I've heard
But
before.
Seinfeld corrected it.
And I
yeah.
thought it was just an accent thing. But now that I know that they prefer Pakistan, it's funner for me to say Pakistan. I like that. But
It is fun to say.
But Sikh, if
You're never
didn't
gonna say that, man. It's gonna seem so weird.
Pakistan, I
Pantelis
love
is-
saying it. Listen.
So,
Pakistan.
there's a lot of Pakistanis.
Pakistan.
It's
Pakistani.
just, it sounds
So you're
off.
Pakistani? I love
I mean,
it, bro.
look, people who go too far in English to pronounce things native within English, I mean, I appreciate the effort, but sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah,
Like, you
I agree.
don't... There was that College Humor sketch years ago where they go to, like, a restaurant.
Why don't you like Pakistan?
I have no issues with Pakistan.
We don't want to give your life for
Okay,
Pakistan.
this guy's just saying stupid things. But I prefer now. I want to get used to saying pa instead of pa.
Like, imagine you say it so often that you start getting confused with other sounds. Like your dog wants to watch you. You're like, no Paw Patrol. You just invert them.
Because I've been saying, yeah, that's funny. Because I've been saying a lot of words wrong. For example, people used to get mad at me when I used to say Laval. Because you say Laval.
You say it
Really?
Laval?
Yeah, Laval. I used to be like, we're going Laval.
Why
And I'd
would
be
you
like,
say it like that?
Because I'm an asshole.
Oh, okay.
And
on purpose.
eh?
On purpose.
No, I just didn't care. Laval. Well, like by the time the word is over, I'm already over it. I'm like Laval. Laval. So people used to get mad at me like it's Laval, or when I would say Laval, they're like, why are you saying Laval? It's Laval. And I was like, no, I thought you said I shouldn't say Laval. No, you should say Laval. You say Laval. So I used to get annoyed with all that shit.
You know what Greeks have a hard time, Greek Canadians, like in Montreal especially, have a hard time pronouncing? Ours.
Ours.
Like, that's ours.
That's ours.
They always say that's ours.
Yeah.
Ours. I think Canadians do it in
No,
general.
Who says that? Nobody says that's ours.
Yeah.
Ours.
I'm going to
That's
pay
ours.
attention when you say it in
That's
a
ours.
sentence. You're going to say it wrong.
Ours.
Yeah. That's
I always
they say it a
ours,
lot.
ours.
I can't judge anyone because I used to say almond.
What is that?
He thought that
What is that?
almonds. He
The L was silent?
he thought that the L was silent his whole life.
I'm going to pull up a word right now and you're going to read it for me, okay? Actually, just type it into your computer. Pull up a Google search.
He's like, well, it's salmon. It should be almond.
That's what he said. That was his. And I go, how the fuck has no one corrected? You know what the worst part was?
C-O-L-O.
I even asked him. I go, so when you saw all these movies and commercials, people saying almonds, did you think that everyone was incorrect and you were correct? And he just paused. He's like this. Yeah.
Pronounce the word.
You know how psychotic you have to be.
C-O-L-O?
C-O-L-O-N-E-L.
He's
Pronounce
wrong.
it. I'm just curious to see what he does. But
which
don't
word
press
was
search.
that?
Just type.
Colonel.
Oh.
Oh, that I know, bro.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Colonel.
Colonel!
First of all, why is it Colonel spelled Colonel?
I read it the other day because it's so confusing. It's because it came in from Latin into French, from French, which had an R. It was coronel, into English, and they mispronounced it. And English people, I mean, English has the dumbest grammar
But
of
as
any
a kid,
language.
I did used to say colonel.
I mean, the first time I realized that it was that, I was like, what the fuck? The other one I had a hard time with a kid. I used to say lieutenant because I had just never heard the
Lieutenant.
word spoken. So I would read it lieutenant because of Greek. Like the Greek grammar in the back of my mind would make an F in the EU. You know, like, you know.
No,
what
I'm
right?
not judging you. I'm
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
for the story. Like I'm listening.
I was just saying, it's another example of a word that is strange in English.
But I've actually heard people call it lieutenant.
in the Queens, yes. In Canadian English or in American English, no.
So many times I forget that there's a Montreal accent, and then I hear people because I don't have it. However,
I'm sorry.
Montreal accent, I don't have a Montreal accent.
You don't have you have some version of it.
No, I have an accent. I don't have a Montreal accent, and I
feel
know
like it's a Greek Montreal accent, but it's been
Americanized.
yeah.
And I know that I don't because you can put this podcast up with whatever the fuck you want. Shom FM. Listen to it. Listen to CJD.
Those guys are all Italian. That's why.
No. Even the CJD, we speak differently. And I only noticed when I went to the States the first time when people couldn't pick my accent. I was like, it's a Montreal accent. And then they're like, no, it's not. And then I would listen to Montrealers speak here on the radio. And I was like, holy fuck,
But
what's
at
wrong
the
with my
same
accent?
time, one of the first times I heard you on Crowder, he's like, I used to hate that Montreal accent, and now I miss
Yeah, but
it.
Crowder says Malakias because I've even discussed with Crowder. Every time he does an example of a Greek guy, it doesn't sound like
no,
me.
it doesn't.
Yeah, but he thinks
That's because he probably went to like a Greek pizza place in Greenfield Park when he was a kid
No,
twice.
because my accent is different from
It is.
Texas, obviously. So when he hears me speak over there, he's like, this is different. This reminds me of home. But I don't even speak. I've heard South Shore Greek speak. They speak kind of like Italians in St. Leonard. I don't speak
yeah,
like them.
they kind of do.
Yeah, I don't speak like them
I
at
don't
all.
think I have that accent.
Because I told
either.
Carl the same thing. Because I'm speaking with. I remember on the show once we're there and I'm speaking proper English, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this. Who's that guy? He's like, oh, that accent, bro. But I haven't said me I once. I haven't said me I once.
I only use bro when I'm around you guys, and I think I just use it for inflection purposes.
Yeah, I use bro too
Like,
when
I
I'm
almost-
around the crew. Just because you code switch. That's what ABBA has taught me.
Yeah,
It's
code
called
switch.
code switching.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
Code switching is when
You mimic.
you're around your boys and
Yeah.
you mimic something. You have your own common language. Or if code switching politicians use it when they speak to black people.
The other day I was on the phone with.
Like Hillary Clinton, when she went on the Breakfast Club,
be
she
great.
was speaking differently before, and then she gets on the show. She's like, "I got my hot sauce in my purse, y'all." It's like, but you don't speak like that, and no black person speaks like that either. That is crazy.
And no black person ever did again.
Yeah.
They actually quit hot sauce after that.
So it's called code switching. Abba and Preach, I think, had a video about it because Abba's the one who taught me about code switching.
I mean, it's not a new concept, obviously.
Because I thought it falls under not being pretentious, but yeah, maybe kind of just.
I mean, it's a natural process that happens subconsciously.
Yeah, it
with all
happens
people.
apparently subconsciously. It's not done on purpose. Yeah, it's not done. It's not done.
It's like that
out
time
of
you
malice.
told us about mirroring, and you thought we didn't know about it. It's a similar concept.
Exactly. Yeah, I used to do the same thing in sales a lot.
Yeah, it's not done for the purpose of belittling the person that you're speaking with.
George is like, I remember that day. That was a good day.
It's not done for that reason. It's only done to make people comfortable.
Yeah.
For example, Jay
there's
Dutomp, when
yeah.
people were bitching because he did my French podcast and he spoke a lot of English, Jay Dutomp did it obviously to make me feel comfortable. That's why he did it. But other people took it as, yo, he's trying to show off that he can speak English.
Sometimes when I'm speaking English with a French Canadian, like a service person or a CSR or whatever, and I start using French words in the conversation because, I don't know, it's subconscious. I'm like, I know these words. I speak French. He's clearly making an effort. I'm going to try too. He's like, no. Please stop. I'm like, why?
Can I just say something? I just remember something from years ago
Yeah.
when we were younger. Dano, my friend Dano, did something really funny to customer service in Rogers.
Oh, God.
This was it just came in my head. So
Yeah,
the
go for
customer service person was clearly French Canadian,
it. Okay.
but he was speaking English.
Well,
So
or
Dano started speaking English to him, but with a French Canadian accent.
amazing.
Okay, so they both started speaking, and then Dano's like, my what do you say? My voicemail doesn't work, and he starts talking. So then the guy tries to switch to French, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, I don't speak French, see, And it was one of the funniest
amazing.
fucking things because at one point the guy's like, "Oh, sorry," and he continues speaking French. Dano said,
hilarious.
"Hold on a second," and he took the phone away and he started yelling in French, like whatever. And then he came back. He's like, "Yes, carry on," whatever the fuck is it? And
What
it
a
made me
mind
laugh.
fuck.
It was such a good gag, but it was done before its time. Like, this is something that would make a good sketch now, but he did it to a real person on Raw. It was the funniest fucking thing.
That
So the
guy's
person
brain
on the other line
broke.
must have been so confused. He's like, "This guy's fucking French. I don't understand."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I once I impersonated a police officer on a phone call to a friend of mine to scare him, and afterwards he comes up to me. He's like, "But," he was freaking out. I thought I was gonna get arrested. Like
What do you mean? What happened?
it's a really long story that I won't get into because it's not that great of a payoff. The story, but the long and short of it is, my Vietnamese friend Danny Ancoy Vu stole Adoni's an old friend of ours, his car.
Matzi.
Yeah, stole his car and took off. And we effectively, because he was the ambassador's son, Adoni, we had like an RCMP officer call Danny and be like, "Look, there's still time to like not fuck your life up."
Oh,
but I
no.
did the call, right? And then we like had him meet us in like a drop zone. Anyway, it's a long story.
Poor, you abusing Koreans is not the way.
No, wait, it wasn't Danny. Danny was with us. It was someone else. But anyways, Danny was there.
So-
Again, like I said, not the long and short of it. But afterwards, the guy goes to me, "Who did the call?" And I was like, "It was me." He was like, "That was flawless French Canadian English."
That was flawless.
Like it was just like you didn't even falter for a second. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see what Christine wrote in the chat?
I did not.
Not you. I'm talking to the producer.
But I decided.
This is news. I think this is breaking news.
Oh,
Is it,
shit.
is it
Poseidon,
true?
Poseidon, bring us Christine's news.
Oh shit.
And if Christine is lying, permanent ban.
Okay, look into that. I'm gonna go and use the little Phillips room.
Permanent ban if she's lying.
Christine?
Yeah.
Uno momento, por favor, señor.
Poseidon is fact checking.
This was from last year, though.
No. This happened last year, but
Well, last year, this whole thing surfaced about, but it wasn't sexual misconduct. It
I
was
never
about
heard of
toxic
sexual
conflict.
misconduct with her.
Yeah.
I heard she was just a bitch in the workforce. Which doesn't surprise me.
Which for in that star system in Hollywood, I mean, it's nothing new, right?
5 minutes ago.
Oh, there we go. Christine bringing late breaking news.
Ellen show canceled. What to know about the... Oh.
I feel bad.
Hollywood life. What is...
I like the.
I
Ellen
feel
show,
bad
man.
and I don't feel bad. I feel bad in the sense that they canceled her show over this shit, like because of the backlash. She's gonna be fine. There's nothing-
When it comes to sexual misconduct, man, I mean.
Oh yeah,
you
but
can't-
that's true. That's new. I didn't hear about
The
that.
upcoming season of her talk show will be her last.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
so
not
she's
really
gonna have
canceled.
another season.
Oh, she's just retiring. Oh, that's not as bad.
No, but then what about
Wait.
the allegations?
Yeah, I don't think it's sexual misconduct because they wouldn't let her finish a season. You
Yeah,
raped
exactly.
someone. Finish
Unless it's already
the
been-
season.
Yeah, unless it's already been filmed. But even if it's already been filmed, they would just pull that out. I don't think they would continue.
Yeah.
Ellen's decision comes in the wake of reports.
Oh, it's her decision, so she's stopping.
No.
Okay, and they're just assuming that behind that there's.
Oh, so it's not canceled.
Yeah, so
They're using the wrong terminology.
yeah.
I guess on purpose for suckers like us to read the article.
Well, it's not canceled because Christine says she is ending her TV show
Yeah.
after allegations.
So who gives a shit?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. I never heard about sexual misconduct though. Is there something about that? Like if she groped people and shit?
I don't know. I'm trying to see anything for sexual misconduct.
I don't know what like a lot of these people that I grew up with that were in the media turned out to be imbeciles. Even Sarah Silverman called Caitlyn Jenner transphobic.
Oh yeah, I have the video up ready. If
Like I don't know what the fuck's happening with the world. It's the craziest thing. And especially for the athletic stuff, I don't think anyone is more qualified to speak about it than Caitlyn Jenner.
shit.
Caitlyn Jenner, who was a college football player, then got injured, then won Olympic gold medals as a man, and then now lives life as a woman. I think he's the best person to speak about that.
Apparently,
Yeah,
it was the executive producers that engaged in rampant sexual misconduct.
Holy shit, rampant. But
Say that again at the beginning. I missed it.
the producers of Ellen's show
yeah.
were engaged in rampant sexual misconduct.
Okay, so it's not her; it's her producers.
But define sexual misconduct.
I
So
mean, like, you know
who's
how
her?
some
That
people are?
nerdy-looking guy. What's his name with the glasses? Is that him?
You know how some people are, bro. Like if you're ugly, like let's say you're a Brad Pitt looking guy, you could get away with like fucking like, yo, what's up, sexy bitch, or whatever the fuck. But you could be like an ugly looking guy, like the people I see in the picture, the guy with glasses and shit. And
You're
could be
not
like,
allowed to. You're
you
not
could-
allowed to flirt.
And you
Shut
could
your
be like,
fucking
and
mouth.
you
You're
could be
ugly.
like, hey, Martha, I just wanted to say, you look great today, and
Get out of here, you goblin!
you know, freaking out, like.
But
you know,
hold on.
everyone does
Are we sure that's what's happening? Like, I understand they're ugly, but what's the misconduct? Like, is the misconduct, hey, you look, misconduct, hey, you look great, or nice ass? Because those are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Runs
Well,
rampant.
there's
One ex-employee said
lately,
her
the
writer
last
and
couple of years,
executive
there's been a
producer-
very fine line, between the two. So I mean, you'll never know. But the important thing for me
Oh
is
shit!
is
Hold
does
on,
it
hold on,
involve
George,
her?
Hold on, George,
Does it
George,
involve her
hold on,
directly
hold on.
or her-
I'm about to get to it.
Go ahead.
One ex-employee said head writer and executive producer Kevin Lehman asked him if he could give him a hand job or perform oral sex in a bathroom at a company party in 2013.
Wait, repeat that?
Asked who? Asked who?
One ex-employee said head writer and executive producer Kevin Lehman
Oh, okay.
asked him if he could give him a hand job or perform oral sex in a bathroom at a company party in 2013.
So he's at a company party, and the head writer tells one of the staffers, "Can I blow you in the bathroom or just give you a hand job, please?"
Yeah. Another said they separately saw
Pretty gay.
Lehman grab a production assistant's penis.
Oh, this guy was aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so
these
it
gays
doesn't
are
have
out
anything to do with
there.
it doesn't have anything to do with Ellen directly. But
No,
I don't
no, no.
understand why she doesn't just fire her whole production and make a statement and continue her
Well,
show.
because she's
she-
one of the richest people in the country, and now that everyone's against her, she doesn't need that stress. I mean, I understand her. Like, everyone's hating you, you're a bitch at work, all that. She doesn't need any of this. She could just fuck off and live a fun life.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
What?
There's a bird chilling, trying to get in my office.
No
There's a
way.
bird in. Yeah, he left the window wide open.
open, and there was a bird like coming in. I was like, "Whoa, okay. Hey, bird, just
Oh,
back the
shit.
fuck up."
Sorry about that.
It's okay. That's why there's screens on windows. I walked in. I was like, just like, "Hello, bird." It's like, so I just step the fuck back. Yeah, sorry. So is Ellen DeGeneres?
Yeah, her show is not canceled. She's just ending it after the end of this season. So she's still doing the season. Because her producers, there was rampant sexual misconduct. One of the guys, he went to another guy who worked there at a staff party and asked him, "Can we go in the bathroom so I can give you a hand job or a blowjob?" The guy's like, "Fuck,
That's
sure."
so polite, and he offered.
It's weird.
I mean,
So-
he didn't fucking make the guy blow him. He's like, "Let me blow you."
You're telling me that's not weird? So your wife in the workplace, her boss goes to her and goes, "Hey, at the company party, can I go to the bathroom
Was
and
that
eat
guy
you out?"
married? Was that guy married?
What do you mean?
The guy who was offered the
What does it
sex
matter?
work?
Okay, if your wife's
the
not your
difference?
wife, just she's single and she's there, she's at a work party, and her boss asks her, "Can I go eat you out in the bathroom?"
She says no. He says no problem. We were cool.
No, that's fucked up at the workplace.
I mean, I'm saying at least he offered. It was a question. It wasn't like we're doing this.
yeah.
But are you guys following this whole scandal around the Golden Globes?
No.
With the Hollywood Foreign Press.
No.
There's this huge crisis. that has concerned pretty much all of Hollywood, specifically with the lack of diversity and inclusiveness within the Hollywood foreign press. Someone came out and said that there isn't one member of diversity sitting in that committee. That pretty much,
the foreign press.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
foreign.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what the category or the criteria is to be called foreign
You
press.
can
But
never
apparently-
go full woke. It doesn't exist. They're gonna find a reason to get pissed.
No, but I mean,
that rhymed.
it's huge.
That was nice.
It's huge, apparently. And I was reading on it the other day. Like, there's a lot of actors that have come out publicly boycotting the Golden Globes, unless the Hollywood foreign
Honestly,
press.
George, I say this with all the respect in the world.
Your little cutie of a wife is upset with you
Mine?
because you said you're cool with her boss asking to eat her out. She's not happy.
Uh-oh. Where is she?
She shouldn't worry.
Where is
He
she?
said
Oh,
we're
shit.
cool if nothing happened. I mean, if something were to happen, then Anna, it would be a different kind of feel.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, but the Golden Globes, I mean, there's a lot of people boycott, a lot of actors. I read the other day that Tom
Shouldn't
Cruise
you be
is
working
third-
right now?
What?
Who Super Douche just said something hilarious. Ellen and Trump, if they would have a podcast together, that
I'd
is the
listen
real
to that.
Renegades
The real
podcast.
Renegades, yeah.
I would listen to that.
By the way, speaking of Trump, did you see Shane Gillis's sketch?
Of course, it's
Bro,
fucking
how
amazing.
bro. How amazing. And then at the end, the chick was, oh my God. It was
The hardcore Trump supporter chick.
Yeah, she's
It's
like-
2 for 1. I could get your shit because it's like 2 for 1. So like I could get 1 for you.
Oh, it was amazing. I loved it.
You were
Anyway.
saying something.
Yeah, so basically, around the whole Golden Globes thing, I mean, all these actors are coming out against him, boycotting them. Tom Cruise, he announced that he was going to return his Golden Globes
Yeah, I just saw
back
that.
for, I can't remember for what movies he got them.
Who's this? Which actor?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, I think he got one for.
How is he
Born
going to
on
get them down from that shelf? It's so high up.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
yeah.
Poor guy.
So I mean, the big issue, here, and even NBC, I heard canceled the show. They pulled the plug on the
Yeah.
Golden Globe. So everyone is
What a
forcing them
mess.
to reform.
They're
and-
showing us their virtue.
This is just-
But,
it's
see,
like a
but
signal.
see, here's exactly where the problem is. And I don't
What
know
about
what's
all
going
the
on
years
there.
of rape and casting couches and all that? Oh, that's cool. That's fine.
No,
Okay.
No, but
the
I mean,
Golden Globes
this
are the
whole
problem.
This whole situation can't possibly have just occurred like the other day, right? I mean, this has probably been going on for fucking decades. Nobody's spoken about this. No actor has ever come out and said what's happening in the Hollywood foreign press is unacceptable.
In
Blah,
the
blah.
whorehouse.
Nobody.
Wait, what's
Now
happening in the
you guys-
Hollywood foreign press? So here's another thing that fucks with me about this. It's the forced diversity. What does that mean? There's not enough diversity. So
Well,
they're gonna
yeah, we
have
don't
their
know.
best.
Well, specifically, they said that there isn't a black person sitting, like a member of the Hollywood foreign press.
There's not a single black
They need
person.
to make certain changes.
But what does that? But what does that mean? Make certain changes. Like the people
don't
that have
know.
the job, right? All I'm asking is, are you saying fire someone to put in someone that is a different skin color? Isn't
Well,
that
because
insane?
What I'm reading, from what I'm reading, it seems to be a very select group. They're very, very close knit and like.
Okay,
not
that's
many
fine.
People can have
Is
access
the
to it, which is
select
what-
group based on race? If it's not based on race, if it's based on their team, right? Like they grew up together, they did all these jobs together, where the fuck they are, and that's the knit group, then it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
I-
It would only
but
be a
I-
problem if it
but-
was like only Whites only are allowed. That would be an issue, but that's not what's happening.
But what I'm reading is that it's not like a little group of 10, 15 people. It's like fucking 80 people. Within those
Quite the
80
group.
people, there isn't one black fucking person.
Have
or
we
like, I don't
have
know,
we
Latino
asked any
or
black
something.
person that tried to get in there or wants to go in there?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I mean, this story is probably going to continue. I'm actually curious to see what's happening. Not that I care
Honestly,
about Hollywood,
I've
but
lost
I mean,
interest in
what's
this.
interesting to me is that in any of these, and not only specifically the Golden Globes, but it's happened in many cases. Like we've seen it also with the Black Lives Matter movement and all these things. Suddenly, when things become like the flavor of the month, you have everyone kind of jumping on the bandwagon. And,
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
the woke
And
circus.
this is what bothers me, because where the fuck were you
In town
5,
for
10,
one
20
weekend
years
only.
ago when clearly these things were happening, or when, I mean,
It wasn't
this
cool
a
then,
question
George.
beforehand?
It wasn't cool then.
Yeah.
To care.
Exactly. So
wasn't.
that to me is much more of a problem than the actual quote unquote problem, right? I mean,
But if
so,
you were to say that in a conversation with the woke, they would just call you a racist. They wouldn't even. They'd be like, "You're a straight white man. You're a racist." That's it.
And I've even said that early last year with respect to the Black Lives Matter movement, when the mayor of Montreal came out and said it's unacceptable, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, 3 months before, her own police force came out with a report saying that there was systemic racism in our police force, and she completely neglected it. She's like, no, there isn't. Literally, a couple months later, you have the whole Black Lives Matter movement. She comes out, she's like, we have to end racism. There's systemic racism.
Well, that was the time for her,
Where the
George.
fuck
She
were
came
you
out.
3 months
That's
ago?
when
Yeah.
she came
Thank
out
you,
and rang her bicycle bell.
George, you're waking up, bro. You're red pilling hard.
George is woke now.
No,
But
what I'm
real
saying
woke.
is that, I mean, it's fine. I'm very sensitive to these
I don't
issues.
like that term.
It's just that, where the fuck were you? You know?
Gives too much credence to the Matrix.
What do you mean credence?
Like, it makes it seem as if the Matrix was fucking foretelling the red pilling.
No,
blue
it's
pilling.
just a figure of speech.
I know.
Hold
I'm
on.
just saying I don't like the term that we need. A
Like
better
when you
one.
say climbing the corporate ladder, people aren't actually climbing up a ladder.
Have you ever been in the corporate environment? There's ladders everywhere
Not
and
true.
chutes.
Shoots and ladders. Remember that? Snakes and ladders.
There's
I-
membership
on fire
criteria,
with
by
the-
the way, that I pulled up on Wikipedia.
Would you pick up?
Membership criteria. For
Membership
the,
criteria.
The,
Tell me the criteria.
it's
One of
all-
them is
no-
being white,
no
right?
black.
No. First of all, they can only be 5 people.
Okay.
Okay.
he's reading the wrong article.
I don't think so. I trust him.
5 people. I heard like
no,
80.
it's, I'm seeing. No, this is like 80. I'm reading membership criteria right here, right now.
For what?
For Hollywood. Oh, never mind. It's not the same thing.
That's what I thought.
Sorry.
He was looking at Hollywood Squares.
No, it's
Do they
the.
still make that? Is that still on?
I don't know why it gave me this. It gave me the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
That's
Bro,
what we're
there's no
talking
way that
about.
there's only
Oh,
5
that's what
people.
we're talking about.
About
Oh,
Hollywood
that's the right
Foreign
thing.
Press, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's the right
Okay,
thing.
go
'cause
ahead.
I clicked
Okay, so let me
go-
let
go-
me
go-
let me
go-
listen. Let me listen.
Membership meetings are held monthly, and the officers and directors are elected annually. A maximum of 5 journalists can be admitted to the organization each year. To retain active status, each member must be currently accredited by the Motion Picture Association of America and must submit clippings of their work every year to renew their active status
Okay.
or be reassigned to a non-voting affiliate status. Requirements for the active membership include primary residence in Southern California, attendance in at least 4 monthly general membership meetings, and a minimum of 4 published articles or photographs per year.
What is this
outside of the
discovery?
US.
They're just giving us.
No, but I'm just saying
facts.
all
I can't
that,
follow.
all those criteria just makes it smaller and smaller. That you're gonna have the diversity that you're asking for because already. You're talking about minorities within minorities within because now what you're asking for is you want a black guy that also is a journalist here that also has a credit that also so you're breaking it down so much sometimes these unicorns won't exist.
No.
Unicorns?
Yeah,
Interesting.
so I get what you're saying, Poseidon. That's interesting.
In response,
I think that's the problem. There's too many unicorns.
Well, it
Not
happened
enough
here with
black stags.
it happened here with the Comedy Nest once. I remember people were complaining they wrote on, but these were imbeciles. They were you don't put enough women on stage, and then actors like every comedian, every English comedian that's a woman performs in Montreal on my stage, like that's in Montreal, performs here. Unless you're asking me to go out and force someone to come on stage, what are you saying? What's the complaint?
Interesting.
There's no woman that was barred. All of them are allowed to perform there. He goes, everyone that performs in English has performed here and does perform here. So what are you asking? They go, well, we don't see enough of them. There should be more coming to the open. But that's not my issue.
Yeah, that's
I
a
can't
stupid
force
statement.
some. Yeah, so these statements are imbecilic a lot of times. That's why I'm saying don't jump to them. Because I remember that. I remember seeing the Facebook comment. I remember him saying, like, I've never blocked. He even tried his best to get more. He's like, I don't understand what, like, I can't force someone to go on stage.
I mean, you could you could force anyone to do anything in the name of equality, because then no matter what the crime you just committed, it was for for equality.
I don't know
It's
what you're talking about. You lost me.
That's exactly the logic.
George,
of
go
this.
ahead.
What the fuck?
Hold on.
Yeah, let's move on. I'm trying to avoid COVID and all that stuff, but there's
Please
something that
avoid
came
it.
up that-
Please avoid it.
I'm rested and freshly tested. Let's do it.
Yeah,
No,
no.
Lorenzo
let me
Soria
with,
is
let me go with
Italian.
COVID. Something very,
Okay,
very
cool.
important that just came up. There are 2 major groups that have thrown their support behind the initiative of the government to potentially create a vaccine passport. In a letter that they sent to the government. This we're talking about Quebec.
Who are these groups?
So this is the Corporation des propriétaires de bars, brasseries et tavernes, and the
Interesting.
Union
We
des
back them, they
tenanciers
fuck
de
you over.
Quebec.
That's you shouldn't help people.
Basically,
What was the,
two
sorry, George? What was the
organizations that-
second one?
Yeah, the second one is l'Union des tenanciers de bars du Québec. So
What's a
basically, they
tenancier? I don't know what
represent
that
most
is.
of the owners of licensed establishments, across Quebec, whether they're restaurants or bars or terrace permit holders and that kind of stuff. So you have the chairman of these 2 groups that have offered all their support to the government, and since the end of April have been pressing for the creation of a vaccine passport to be applied. So that their industry could reopen. We all know that they've had a hard time during this pandemic. I think we're all pretty much supporting them, and we're sensitive to everything that that
Not
they had
anymore.
through. But I mean, look, honestly, I really don't know where I stand on this, because I want them to open their business. If the government comes and says, well, we'll reopen if you check if people get vaccinated, then do we want them to reopen? Are you going to go? I mean, I don't know. We've said it many times that, I think we're all pretty much on the podcast against this whole passport or whatever the fuck for the vaccine. But the argument that certain businesses could reoperate again, which is a good thing, if there were to be this vaccine passport or any sort of indication that you've been vaccinated. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking of all the friends I have that have restaurants or bars or whatever that would be able to kind of reoperate again. And if this is what it takes, then fuck, man, I want to support them, right?
Well, no, because that's what I'm saying. Is what you said is backwards. Because we all tried to support them for months. We wanted them to open up. We wanted this and that. So we had their back for months. I was willing to take takeout. I went to support different restaurants. So we were there for them. So the fact that now they would throw everyone else under the bus and be like, I don't give a shit if you're against for whatever, just get the passport, or else you can't come to my store. I think that's a crazy turn of events. That's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist of help me, I need help. And then after, like, fuck you. I don't like that. To be honest, I don't like that shit.
I don't know if it's that simple for them, anyways. Like,
It
they just want to open their businesses up.
Yeah, but
well, at the expense of us, right?
That implies that they agree with your opinion of the passports. They might be of a different mindset, thinking that maybe it's a good thing.
You could have that mindset, but
Yeah.
if you're lobbying to make it law and mandatory,
I guess, but at the
Doesn't
same
seem-
time,
I
if they
don't-
think
I
they're
don't-
fighting
I
a
don't
just
know about
cause, then they're not.
especially
gonna fuck
considering
you
that
over.
most people that went out of their way to help them were people that were anti-lockdown.
I don't know if it's about making it into law, but remember last episode we spoke about a QR code being enforced. I think it's as of tomorrow.
I saw someone compare that to a Magen David, and they got
What's Magen David?
the yellow star the Nazis used to put on the Jews.
That's not the same thing.
I know, and they got trashed on Twitter. I was like, well, what's English for Kalana Pathis?
Good for you.
No, it's like you should have fucking shut your mouth. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Everyone always wants to draw like a Nazi Germany comparison. Always. It's like,
Yeah. Trump was a dictator. Remember that?
No.
Donald Trump is a dictator that you were able to vote out.
Yeah.
Does anybody understand what dictator means?
Yeah.
Dude, Trump, there was even evidence of fuckery during the elections, and he still lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a dictator, bro.
I mean, there's definitely some kind of dictatorial things happening. I don't know if it was him, though.
I don't know.
just saying.
Yeah, people use these words all the
It's
year.
more of a totalitarian kind of vibe. I don't know.
You're a Nazi. How come? Because you're not a vegan. Okay, that's how that
Fucking
works.
cannibal Nazis.
Okay, it's interesting.
Interesting, yeah. It's interesting.
So I mean, I don't know how this thing is gonna happen. I mean,
What thing?
because what we spoke about last episode was that the QR code is just gonna be like kind of like a receipt, like some proof, like Phil got on paper, but it's just gonna be in the form of a QR code. Question is, are they gonna come up with a platform where people are gonna be able to just ask for it on demand? I mean,
What's interesting and that we didn't discuss and I realized after was this QR code leads to your results, which are stored on a centralized server. Here's the big difference. The reason
Really?
they're doing this is so that people can't fake their COVID receipts. I'm pretty sure, because now there's actually a database that is accessible that cannot be, well, I mean, anything can be forged, but a lot easier than a piece of paper.
Angry
Yeah.
Rooster, what are you saying?
this is bullshit.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's just a digital version of the receipt. It's just so you don't lose the receipt.
that's what it seems like on the surface, but I think maybe there's a bit more to it.
look, I mean,
I don't know. What do I know?
look, giving a receipt I think is completely normal. What isn't
But
normal
imagine
is for
people with
to
like old
request
school
it.
cell phones, or people with no cell phones.
Yeah, like a flip phone or
It's
something.
like, sir, can we send you your QR code? 1 second, I'm just trying to beat this level in Snake.
What about older people that don't have phones, that just don't want cell phones?
I mean, they don't go anywhere. They don't need to show anyone anything.
That's stupid.
It's fine.
So they can't go in bars now. It's weird.
Yeah, but Thursday is closed, so where are the old hot chicks gonna go?
Well, let me ask you something, Phil. It was handwritten, that receipt, or was it?
just like the stuff I got when I got vaccines 15 years ago? Like a little slip that said my dose and the date. That's it.
What if they start printing them with a QR code? So for the people that don't have a phone, they have a printout with an actual QR code.
I mean, why are we discussing it? Let them figure it out. Not gonna
It's
help
crazy
them.
that they didn't do this with SARS.
No, what I'm
SARS?
saying is that
SARS
I don't
didn't
have a
explode.
problem with them. I don't have
did.
a problem
Toronto-
with
Toronto
giving
was
out a
completely fucked
receipt
up.
that you
That's
you know
true.
that you
And it's
got
more
the vaccine.
dangerous.
How did
I
they
have a
stop
problem
SARS?
with people requesting it. That's the fucking problem I have.
Because they're
And
going
it
to charge
seems-
you for it, George. That's how the government works. You know that if you want a copy of your driving record from the SAC, you have to pay for a digital email.
Interesting.
Think about that for a second. How ridiculous! I needed it the other day. Yeah, I had
Why
to
do
pay.
you need a record for your thing? Who asks for that anyway?
It's
And
a
how
long
many
story.
records
It's
have
none of
you
your
broken?
business.
Like, what does your driving record look like? Do you have any
It's
first,
clean.
first
I mean, I
place
have
stuff?
one moving violation.
Second place, third place. It's a record. Have you broken any records?
None, zero.
No
I'm
speed
at the bottom
records?
of the list.
It's terrible.
Yeah. My point is, anything, even to like request something or to check, because long story short, I got a ticket in Laval, and apparently Laval, if you don't pay it in 30 days, they fucking take away your license, because Laval's crazy. So I got this letter. I'm like, fuck, I got to deal with the SAC now. But they made me pay for the most rudimentary things that I should have access to. They're mine. It's
Right.
ridiculous. So that's how the government operates. So if you need to request something, it costs $8, $9, $6, whatever. It's all automated. No
Yeah.
one's being paid to do it. Why am I paying? So that's
Oh
what
yeah,
they're gonna do.
online. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see
it's a
what you're
cash
saying.
grab.
Yeah, all of it is. It's all nonsense, dude. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
$6 from fucking 100,000 people, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
How much money is that?
600,000.
Way
Good
to
job,
do
good
that
job,
math,
buddy.
buddy.
You know?
Good job.
Somebody.
Good job, Rooster. I'm gonna start calling you Rooster.
I like the rooster hair.
Rooster.
So yeah, so the question now remains, I mean, okay, so there's a movement by this industry. Are other industries going to pretty much follow in the same direction, right?
You don't know that though.
No, that's what I'm asking. It's a big question
Oh,
mark. I mean,
sorry.
what about like retail stores or fucking non-essential businesses or
Retail
whatever.
stores will
whatever.
never do it because. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, I like those shoes in the window. Your vaccine record, like that's crazy. Think about.
Hold
that.
on, I don't understand how
It's a
this,
weird
this
business
shit is
move.
gonna work. How the fuck are we all gonna wait in line to get into restaurants now outside with, and then they're gonna have to verify our ID like a
So
fucking
if
club?
one person in your party doesn't have it or it's not scanning properly, you can't go in the restaurant.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
A friend of mine made a
What
great,
is this?
great prediction. He said to me, "Look, most people are going to get the vaccine. A bunch of people won't, and that'll be that. And eventually, we'll just move on. People will forget about the pandemic." I'm like, "You really think so?"
That's
I
how
wonder.
it should be, yeah.
I think that's what's probably not. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not
Wait, but if
sure.
someone's not vaccinated
Yeah.
and you are vaccinated, the fuck do you care?
Yeah. I had gotten to an argument with my sister a few weeks ago. She was like, "Ugh, can you imagine going out and being around unvaccinated people?" I'm like, "What are you fucking
You're doing
saying?"
that right now.
I'm like, "What are you
You're
fucking
doing that right
saying?"
now. You've been doing that your whole. What are you talking about?
I go, "I'm vaccinated and you're with me. What am I supposed to shun you?" Like, she's like, "No, it's not that simple."
It is that simple.
It's
It's
because
very, very simple.
My dad doesn't
It-
want to get vaccinated, so there was like a whole
No,
thing.
but it's 100% that simple. It's it's like saying,
Yeah.
oh, what if that guy,
I
like in
agree.
Quebec, what if that guy doesn't have car insurance and I have car? I don't give a fuck. If that guy's a dummy, he's gonna be the one paying. I have fucking my insurance. I'm covered. I don't give a shit.
Where the fuck are all the people that were saying "my body, my choice"?
Yeah, where are
all
they
these
now?
years? Where the fuck are they now, bro?
Yeah.
I love when he counter argues with a meme that
Yeah.
he saw. I love it. I love it.
No,
But
it's-
he is
it's
correct.
true.
He's right.
He's
I'm not saying
100%
he's wrong.
correct.
I'm not saying he's wrong.
100% correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I use a meme? Yes.
Yes, of course.
But
I've
did
seen
I
it
use it
'cause you shared
correctly?
it.
Did I use it
Yeah.
correctly?
You know what's great?
Yes.
Yes, you did. What's great is he shares all the memes he sees, and I see them, and I laugh. And then within the next, never more than 6
He'll
days,
use
'cause
them
he
in
forgets-
general conversation.
Yeah, and sometimes he nails it, and that's fine. And sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah,
and
sometimes
that's
it's off.
really
Sometimes I also use them to express emotion because I am an abnormal human being.
It's abnormal. You're not a
fine.
human.
Is he a
being.
millennial or is he
You're
Gen
not.
Z? What is he?
You're not an abnormal. You're a subnormal. You're a subpar human being.
There are humans, there are animals,
Fuck,
and
yeah.
then there are anomals like you.
Anomalies.
Anomalies. Anomal.
You're an anomalo.
Yeah, you are a bit of an anomal.
I mean, the reason I'm bringing it up is because, and this is more towards the federal government, because they're trying to see how we can reopen the border between Canada and the U.S. And one main suggestion was that, can we have evidence that people are vaccinated in order to let Canadians into the U.S. and Americans into Canada? I know that the U.S. Biden has come out publicly against the vaccination passport.
publicly, but
if it
privately he's
comes
setting
down-
it up.
What'd you say?
Publicly, but privately he's probably setting it up.
Look, I can't tie his shoes. Don't worry
I mean,
about
I
it.
don't know. I
Not
mean, I don't know
him,
what's
but
happening,
someone.
but I mean,
Kamala.
see, like if we move towards that direction, where for the next year or two, you're gonna have to show proof. I mean, imagine all the shows that you can book in the U.S. Pantelis. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to show them that that you've been vaccinated. I want to travel, fucking. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I've been telling my wife this whole week how much I miss Greece and I want to be on a beach. How the fuck are you gonna do that? You know? And I know I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Like I'm probably gonna go get vaccinated. I'm just talking. You know,
In general,
very
me too. That's what
objectively.
I'm in general. I'm just talking about. It doesn't seem. It seems weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wonder when travel will become like a regular thing again. Actually, I was talking to, I don't remember who it was, and they're like, how did these viruses even get here? I'm like, what do you mean? Like these new variants, how did they get here? No one's traveling. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Everyone's
traveling. He's like, I blew his mind. He's like, what? I go, what? Were you under the impression that we weren't able to get on an airplane? He's like, yeah.
Like, look up in the sky and
you don't
stay
see
there
the
like, for
airplanes.
half an hour. You're gonna see a flight. You're not gonna.
Like I live under the flight path, so like I remember in the early months of the pandemic, the absence of airplanes. It was weird because I live right off the 40, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now that they're back.
Poseidon lives right under the 40.
Yeah.
This is my troll bridge.
But George really liked that one. That's fun because he watches a lot of like nursery rhymes with his kids probably, so it's like relevant for him.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think now that it's readily available for everyone, if you want to get vaccinated, go get vaccinated.
Go get vaccinated.
But if
Go nuts.
someone doesn't want to get vaccinated, I don't see what
The problem is.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Honestly,
Especially
like,
for something like this that you have less than a 1% chance.
the example I brought up that when I was talking with my sister, it just goes to show like people who I consider relatively intelligent, the pandemic has really fucked our brains.
Yeah.
Like I'm not excluded from that. Like I had a very hard time for a while. Like there was a deep dark lull in the pandemic for me where I was like, what the fuck, man? We're in mortal danger. But
I've seen people. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead. I
I lost my train of thought.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say the fear of it has really changed. Like the idea that my own sister, whom I mean, we share many political beliefs. I mean, she's a bit trendier than me and a bit more woke than I'd like her to be.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, but she's younger than me, so I'll forgive it.
Yeah.
For her to say something like that, like, ugh, I was like, what? And my dad was like, what are you talking about? We're not leopards. I'm like, dude, it's leopard. But anyways, I get your point.
We're not leopards. I like that.
When he said it, I went like this. I went, meow, and he got pissed and he didn't want to talk to me anymore.
But you know,
but you get my point. You get the
Poseidon
fuck I'm trying
does
to say.
bring up a good argument though, because that is interesting. You
Which
can't
one?
be forcibly vaccinating people
No, of
for
course
something
not.
like this that most likely won't hurt them, and pro-choice at the same time. It doesn't make it. It's a huge oxymoron.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, that would mean like I'm allowed to do whatever I want with my body, but you can. Yeah, you're right. That's actually a good point. I never thought about it like that. You're 100% right. Yeah.
He's right. He's not
Yeah,
wrong. He
see, well,
regurgitated the truth.
That's the thing that fucks me up the most. It's because here in Canada, at least, they can't force you to take any medication, but they're finding an alternate way of making you get vaccinated. Like if you want to travel.
Now that you said that, George, the force thing. Remember last week I was saying about daycares and how you have to be vaccinated. You guys said that's not true. I looked into it. It is true. You can enroll your kids in a public daycare if they're not vaccinated.
You can't.
You cannot.
No, I didn't say anything. I just said I never saw that anywhere. So
Maybe
maybe
a CPR, like the subsidized government daycares, if you're not up to date with your vaccinations, you're not in. And if you don't do that, same thing applies for kindergarten. If you're not up to date with your vaccination records, you can't get in.
Well, vaccines aren't inherently bad.
No, I'm not saying that. I was just making a point that we already are forced to get certain vaccines.
Yeah, but I mean, there's stuff like there's been breakthroughs in medicine that allow us right now to live free. You know what I mean? Like
live free or die hard. Exactly.
Yeah, no, but it's amazing. Or travel to India, for example. Like it allows you. Vaccines allow you certain freedom. The reason why, okay, there's going to be people that don't want to get the vaccine because they think there's a microchip or 5G. That's psychotic shit. We're not talking about them. What I'm saying is I 100% understand the argument of, look, the blood clots with the AstraZeneca one, we pulled out. There's still issues, people having side effects. It's very new. People want to wait because it's going in their body. I understand that. Just like how you don't want to get COVID, you don't want to put. I get that argument.
Of course.
What I don't like is that now what they're saying is even if that's your argument, they don't bring it up. What they say is you're anti-vax, as if you don't believe in medicine, you don't believe in vaccine, which is not the case. Most people that I've spoken to that don't want to get it all say the same thing.
I don't want to get it right now.
I don't want to get it right now. Let me wait a year or two, see what happens. Which to me is a logical
Absolutely.
human thought of, wait, I don't know what this is. Let me calm down. My own prime minister said last year it will be at least 2 years before we have something that works. And then came out 6 months later, said, no, we got something now. So
I mean, that's just a testament to money.
No, I'm just saying I understand people's fear of. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying it's a real vaccine.
Of course.
But let me wait. I understand that argument. I'm not attacking people. So why is it that?
And also,
especially since last week, I don't know if you guys remember, Pfizer came out saying that there's probably going to be medication by the end of this year that will be made available to actually cure it.
Orally.
So if you do get it,
treat
you
it,
pop a
not cure
pill
it.
and it's done.
Yeah.
and also considering the fact that
That'd be
the other
great.
vaccinations that are they force you to take have had decades of research.
Now they've had decades, but when they started forcing us, some of them, like the measles vaccines, when we started taking them, the MMRs, the ones that sparked the anti-vax movement, I mean, no, they weren't tested for a very long time.
But also, Joker, the people that aren't getting vaccinated, he wrote, is like playing Russian roulette. Russian roulette, there's one bullet and there's 6 chambers. This is less than 1% of a specific demographic that could die. That's not Russian roulette.
It's not a specific demographic.
That's not. It is a specific demographic. It's not around the scale. It's not from
fair.
0 to 100.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you
It's
want to
not
use the
Russian
Russian roulette example and assume for a second that it's an apt example, an apt analogy, not having the vaccine is playing Russian roulette with your life. Having the vaccine, for some people, feels like Russian roulette with 2 bullets in the chamber.
Yeah.
COVID or the vaccine. That's what scares people.
Or AstraZeneca on women.
That's 3 bullets in the
that
chamber.
right there. You're taking your life in your own hands right there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you guys saw, but yesterday I think Ontario came out and they suspended entirely the AstraZeneca. There's 3 women that have died because of the blood clot.
I mean, I understand what they keep saying about the benefits outweigh the risk. I understand what they're trying to say, but there's too many instances right now. Like, shelf it, figure it out, go again. Like, we have other vaccines. Let's use them. I actually read a long report yesterday about how
Step in there, Poseidon.
the countries that have the highest vaccination rate in
Poseidon,
the
you want
world.
to say something? Say it.
What?
Because Joker says he said that it was extreme. Well,
Yeah, it is. That's what we just said. It's 100% extreme.
Yeah, we did quote him right. He's saying you didn't quote him right, but he said this. But if it's extreme, why even bother in the first place of mentioning? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you say that?
Don't get upset.
Huh?
Don't get upset. Stay calm.
We're not. This is not a fucking medical review. If we misquoted you, we misquoted you.
We didn't misquote. It is extreme. We said that it is
no, but
extreme.
I'm just
We said
saying
it's
we're
completely
speaking
insane.
and it's in the chat and on writing.
Yeah.
People can read it. No, the countries with the highest vaccination rates, some of them have really bad outbreaks right now, and they were trying to figure out why. And the ones that have the bad outbreaks have the Eastern vaccines, the Sinopharms, the ones from China, the ones from other
Russia.
countries. Israel, on the other hand, who has Pfizer mostly and has like 70 or 68% of their population vaccinated. I mean, for them, life has gone back to normal. They're at war with the Palestinians again. Like,
Yeah.
everything's...
Hey, George, what do you know about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? Because I feel like the
what's
media
that?
is lying to us.
Why haven't we talked about that?
Yeah, well, actually, I have it here. It was the last
Bring it up.
topic.
Was it? Because when George
there's-
said
well,
slow
obviously,
news
I
day,
mean,
I'm like,
everyone's
there's a
been-
war happening.
Everyone's been following it. Obviously, there's escalations that are rising again between Israel and Palestine. Over the last couple of days, there's been hundreds of rockets that have been launched from either side. Israel came out yesterday and they said that they mobilized over 5,000 reserve troops to the border with Gaza. Look, the latest eruption of violence began, I think, about a month ago when I was reading it in Jerusalem. They were, police tactics during Muslim holy month of Ramadan, specifically in an area where it is considered sacred to both Jews and Muslims. We're talking about the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I don't know if you guys saw clips where people were praying and Israeli police came in with those smoke bombs or whatever the fuck you call them.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I kept seeing all that stuff. I even saw my friends. They were showing like there was like a lot of Jews cheering when there was a fire and people and all that. But now I found out this morning, I was looking at shit that I've been seeing a one-sided view of it. Like, because I was wondering, like, what started this? What escalated?
Someone I know posted that they're going to try and make us believe that this was a conflict on each sides by playing with the chronology of events. I was like, what is the real chronology of events?
Yeah, so apparently what I didn't know is that before that, because what is it? It's Hamas that's running Palestine? Yeah, some guy who's never been elected or whatever. They were called, and there was even videos that were shared by the media that then they took down because they didn't speak Arab. And apparently they were saying, the people that were cheering, like for Hamas, was to kill the Jews or whatever. And they go, look at these guys, they're all getting together cheering. And then when they found out what it meant, like, ooh, fuck, take that down. So there was a lot of conflict before. And then all we saw was them going and attacking them, and they're like, "Look at this! Isn't this disgusting?"
For me,
That's what I saw, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
That's the biggest danger in any conflict. I mean, where did it start and who initiated and all that stuff. But
Well,
from
this
what
started
I've been
years
reading,
ago.
there were threats of eviction of dozen Palestinian families by Jewish settlers.
Which is again, how the fuck are we allowing this to happen? Like, the international community is useless. Like, how do you keep evicting people? And like, isn't that crazy that we're allowed to do that shit?
I mean, it's difficult to go back in history to see exactly what the fuck happened. But there's pieces of land that Israel acquired in the 60s and 70s back in those wars, and those have been the nature of the conflicts for the longest time now, right? So Israel is developing in these areas. Palestinians are claiming that it's their land, and essentially
But didn't fucking Trump put an end to this? Didn't we have peace a few months ago? I don't understand why this is starting again.
Not between Israel and Palestine. It was between Israel and other countries in the Middle East, but not between Palestine. It's almost impossible, I think, in my opinion, for that conflict to ever come to an end. I mean, there's both sides that are claiming their rights to the land, and it's sad. I've been to Israel. I was in a young leaders mission over there, and I actually went and I saw the settlements, and I saw back in the day when they were building the wall.
I just imagine George in a small little military youth outfit visiting Israel. Like, oh, it's very nice.
Dude,
here.
why are you visiting Israel? I don't understand.
The young leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except he doesn't get elected.
You're not Jewish.
Yeah, you're not. You don't have birthright.
No, but that goes to show you how well plugged the Jewish community is in public affairs over here.
Oh, what's his name? Who got
If anything, it's the opposite because they should have picked a future leader.
Yeah. I'm sure Justin went.
No, he hasn't gone.
Never been to
Israel.
Israel put all their eggs in George's basket and failed.
So I mean, what do I'm gonna tell you guys? I mean, they have fought for 3 wars already since the Islamic militant group seized power in
It's
Gaza.
been a lot of them. I feel like at this point, someone needs to figure out a solution. It's just become like played out. Like, what are you guys even doing? Someone needs to. Who's going to mediate this?
At some point, all these regional and international powers, they convinced both sides to a truce, which seemed to be okay for the longest time. Now things have spurred up again. It doesn't seem like it's going away. In fact, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said that this offensive is probably going to take some time. So I don't know what to tell you. It's sad.
I saw footage last night of like rockets coming from the Palestinians. It just looked like Roman candles. Like, it didn't look dangerous.
Oh, it
at
looked
all.
cool. They have Israel has the dome.
Yeah, Israel has like the Iron
was?
Curtain. It's like this. It's like a defense system against
Hold on.
rockets.
So what I was seeing was future tech taking out rockets in midair.
It's rockets taking out rockets. Yeah,
That's fucking. I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, the dome. You never seen the dome?
No, I had no idea.
Oh, dude, it's fun. It's like
Yo, that completely recontextualizes what I saw.
It's
Holy shit.
Tony Stark stuff. Essentially, what they do is they have a grid where radar tracks incoming missiles,
And takes it out.
and then they send their own missiles to blow them up in the sky.
So
and the way it works is they didn't have to hit the missile just in case there's some kind of, but they track them, and there's a connection with the missiles the entire time while they're tracking to
Really?
change their direction. And what happens is as soon as they get close enough, it blows itself up and takes out the other one as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's cool. Do we have that?
No.
We need that. We should get
Why?
that.
Who's gonna rocket us?
The U.S.?
No, they're not.
Sleepy Joe falls asleep on the controls.
We don't have the dome. They need it there because of all the
really high tech
That's
technology.
really cool. I didn't know Israel had good for Israel. Between
pretty
that
cool,
and the
yeah.
fucking crazy tanks, the Merkovas.
Yeah.
But all
That's
that, you know what's fucked up is that they keep fighting and it doesn't, like, they hate each other and they keep scrapping it out. It just looks worse because one side has a lot of advanced military and the other one doesn't. So this can't look good anywhere.
It's bazookas versus rocks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which we're like, oh, but why? But at the same time, it's like, fuck, man, unless someone steps in, it can't stop. Because you talk to both sides, there's no giving in. You get it? Like, Palestine now can't go back because years ago when there was a chance of, and they said, no, Israel shouldn't exist. We want the whole thing. And Israel was like, fuck that. And now Israel, even when people are like, guys, you can't just keep settling. People are living there. Like, they're like, fuck that. No,
Well, we've been here. What are you talking
about?
about?
Yeah, so they're never going to stop. They're never going to stop. And all we're going to see is murder and kids getting blown up. And all. You need like the powerful countries, you need like a U.S. to step in and be like, stop it. It ends now. This is the fucking line. Stop it.
But they've done so in the past.
No, they haven't. They've gone and they go,
pretended to.
guys, please, like, try for a couple of months, not fire a rocket, and we'll give Palestine some money.
What's the country that has
all
the
that's
best
happened.
relations with both these factions? I wonder.
Nobody has best relations with both because you're gonna piss off one side.
I'm pretty sure Greece has excellent relations with both.
Greece does have excellent, but Greece doesn't have power. Greece, you're right, has good relations.
No,
with
yeah,
both.
but no power. Yeah, but I'm saying they do have like.
Yeah. Greece also believes that Palestine should have its own state.
Greeks believe.
Greeks.
The Greek government is very pro-Israel, especially in the last decade.
Yeah, but not anti-Palestine.
I mean, it's hard to be one and not the other.
Not really.
Not really, because going back to because I'm for I want both
as a sovereign nation. It is,
of course I want both of them to be sovereign nations. I want them to stop.
I mean, sorry, that's not what I meant. I mean, as a sovereign nation like Greece or Turkey or any other country.
Joker is right about that.
What?
The U.S. doesn't want to get involved because Russia is going to take the other side. By the way, another thing, never forget that this conflict right now that exists in the entire area over there, but especially there, started because the U.S. and the Soviet Union were posturing. Because when we talk about the war initially, it was the 7-day war, whatever the fuck it was, when everybody attacked Israel around.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It wasn't even basically the side of the Arab League was backed by the Soviets. And it was all proxy wars. It was the U.S. and the Soviets fighting each other,
the Cold War,
using someone else. And the U.S. went. So that's what it was. Those two trying to put their dick in their hands. Because what they could have done at that time, they were measuring their cocks. What they could have done is get together and be like, "Listen, guys, measure some fucking borders. Let's make sure there's peace." But instead, they wanted to use the people in the region so they could fight their own fucking war. So never forget where that shit started. It was proxy wars.
But it's pretty crazy because when I was down there and we visited the wall that they were building. It's crazy because they're literally splitting like villages, right? I mean, it's like you have family that lives like 2 streets down, and they're no longer part of Palestine anymore. You know, it's like what the fuck's gonna happen here?
It's pretty crazy.
Really, it was a very interesting trip, honestly, guys. It was an eye opener, and it's really not that simple to understand that.
It's super complicated. It's not just complicated. It's no matter what we say, because anytime I speak to people who are hardcore into it on one side or another. There's no give. Yeah. It's not let's end the violence. It's like, no, I still want revenge for this thing that happened. I still want this. It is, that's why unless you have a father figure, somebody goes in and smacks it, like, shut the fuck up, it can't stop. You can't leave it to themselves because they're both angry.
There's no one who can play that role anymore because Israel itself militarily is
you know who
powerful.
you know who could play that role? The U.S. and Russia together, sitting down and be like, guys.
That implies that they would get along.
Yeah, be like, listen, guys, can we be honest that people on both sides, innocent people are going to be dying? Unless we step in, but they won't do it. I'm just saying that would be nice if humanity.
Yeah. The other thing that doesn't help is the fact that you have an extremist government that just took over there. So any tactic and bring them together would automatically, kind of indirectly, mean that you are recognizing also that quote unquote government in Palestine.
But it's not recent. Palestine has had these weird governments for the longest time.
They're not a real state.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper.
I mean, you're talking about the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not voted, right? They don't vote them in.
No, they do. They do, but these guys just took over there, whatever. I remember, like back in the Yasser Arafat years. I mean, because when Yasser Arafat was there, he was actually fighting Hamas, so it kind of gave him some sort of credibility. Now, I mean, you're the U.S. You want to make a deal. Making a deal automatically means that you're recognizing that.
You're negotiating with terrorists, which you're not supposed to do. Yeah, you're right.
It's not even about negotiating with terrorists. You're actually legitimizing them as a sovereign state and a government. You're recognizing them just by talking to them.
Yeah.
But I think they have been widely recognized as an autonomous, I don't want to say government, but an autonomous entity, if you want.
I'm not sure what they're.
Yeah, like I don't recognize Hamas, but I recognize Palestinians in Palestine.
Yeah, the people, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's a complicated. I mean,
super fucking complicated. But the media here isn't helping because they're trying to play every week. They play a different side instead of being like, guys, this is fucked up. They're like, look, these guys are evil. Then next week, we're wrong. These guys are evil. What are you talking? The people in the end who are going to die are all. It's going to be innocent people. It's not going to be Israeli soldiers that are going to get rocketed. It's going to be people in their homes. It's not going to be Palestinian Hamas freedom fighters. It's going to be Palestinian villagers. It's going to be mothers and kids. That's who's going to die.
There's like 13 children have died already.
Yeah, so it's fucking. You can't pick a fucking side. It's innocent people in the end that are gonna suffer, and it's always like that. It's always like that. It's never the president. It's always the innocent people that eat the dick at the end of the day.
Yeah, and because I've been criticized of supporting the state of Israel, and my argument. And look, I'm not a professional. I mean, I don't know the facts and I don't know the history, so I'm not gonna act like I do. I just support Israel just because there's a democratically elected. Power in the Middle East, and that's very important because imagine you go to bed and you wake up tomorrow and there is no Israel. Can you imagine the fucking shitstorm in that part of the world?
I mean, maybe or maybe not. Who knows?
No, it's a shitstorm.
It's 100%. It's 100% a shitstorm. So the fact that you have a more Western-like democracy in the Middle East, for me, is it counts like 100%.
But here's the thing: how Western is it when they're doing shit like this too? Like there's
but those are their internal policies. We're talking about their government institutions and the
I get what you're saying. You're not wrong. I'm just saying that there's still a lot of barbaric savagery happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's not all clean, is what I'm saying, and it's not all
But George's,
black and white.
George's argument is like teeters on the concept that our governments are doing something better than someone else's governments, east or west or north or south.
They're not perfect. All I'm saying
None
is
of them
that
are,
if
but the idea that it would be chaos there, why would it be like? That's my question. Why would it be other chaos?
I'm just reverse engineering it in the sense that if you had democratically elected governments around Israel, including Palestine, maybe there would be more peace over there because you'd be willing to sit down, negotiate calmly, responsibly, and have different powers come in and actually contribute to the dialogue.
Okay.
Whereas now you can't fucking do that.
Oh, that's what you're saying. I understood the inverse.
Yeah, I
sorry.
understood the
thought you
inverse
meant
too.
if there was no Israel, it would be chaos.
It's the same thing. It would be
Is it?
chaos because you don't have that sort of
because
balance
they
in the
do
region.
keep a lot of people in the region in check. Like a lot of the countries that go like hardcore, like Muslim Brotherhood stuff, they'll say crazy shit, but they won't do anything because like, okay, we're gonna get fucked. So because it is scary there, because you see the countries that fell. You see what happens, like let's say Libya, right? They went in there, and now Libya became the slave capital of North Africa. So it's fucking crazy. You need a democratically elected government. I'm not saying it has to be Western, but I mean, you need a government that has checks and balances, and the checks and balances are the people, not the military.
I don't know that Israel is that.
I don't know that Israel is that fully either, but
I mean, look what's around Israel. Okay, you have Palestine, you have Syria, and you have Iran. You know what I mean? It's like,
but look,
Israel's not keeping them in check. Israel's just trying to fucking exist.
yeah, but hold on a second. But Syria was a fucking modern fucking country, guys. We're
Yeah.
forgetting this.
So was
Syria was a
Lebanon.
modern. But we didn't mention Lebanon. Syria was a fucking modern country, and Iran, dude, before the CIA got implicated and
like in the
gave it to the
70s, yeah.
fanatics, they were fucking advanced. People were going there to get educated.
Yeah.
Like it was a modern fucking place. We make it seem like Iran is the third world now because of what it turned into with fanaticism.
Yeah.
But the CIA was implicated in causing this.
No, even not even that long ago, that Tehran, like in the 70s, was like a fucking modern metropolis.
Yeah, it was a fucking metropolis. It was. So we're forgetting this. Like we're making it seem like these people, they never entered the 20th century. They were with us.
They just exited.
We fucked them over.
Yeah, they just exited at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah, Damascus was beautiful. I'm looking at
Dude,
like,
we
old
fucked
images.
we obviously not me and you, but I mean clandestine operations in order to take over countries more easily. And the Saudis had a lot to play with this. By the way, the Saudi Arabians is the reason why it's
So
all
did
about
the
money.
Mossad, though.
Yeah, they did a lot of back end. Let me fuck over my neighbor so that I could make money type of thing. Look at
No
what's
one hates Arabs like other Arabs. Have
Yeah.
you noticed? They fucking
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
really
Syria,
go at each
Syria
other.
was gorgeous, bro. Like I'm looking at old. Hold on.
Yeah, Syria's a very pretty place from what I've seen in photos. I've never been.
Yeah, dude, Syria was
but
fucking nice.
It's ancient. It's an ancient part
modern.
of
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
Hey,
beautiful stuff. When
forget
you
the
look-
history. Like I like these places because I'm a big history guy. So I
me
like
too.
I like countries and I like
Cultures.
cultures that have old history. You know,
Yeah.
I love that. I like the Japanese. I like the Chinese, India. I love all the ancient stuff. But putting that aside, factually, they were in the modern world, and then in order for us to take over their oil fields to work with dictators so we could make more money off it, we screwed them over and gave them to barbarians. And then now we're like, look at these guys. They're living in the past.
Yeah.
Well, we did it to them.
Yeah.
We did it to them. They wanted to be part of the modern world, and we fucked them over so we could take over their natural resources.
Krima, what happened? bro?
Yeah, these aren't backwards people. We fucked them over. Just look at Canada. If Canada would do the same thing, if right now we would just decide
Look at this,
they're dictators now, and they're selling all the water to someone else, the hydro, and they fuck us over. We're in the modern world now. If they decide to fuck us over, it's not because we decided to
No, we're
back
going
out of the
backwards.
modern world. Yeah,
Look at the difference, bro.
beautiful. Look at that.
Before and after the war, bro.
Yeah,
Krima, bro.
beautiful fucking place.
It's sad to see shit like that happen, bro.
Yeah, Syria, not just Syria, Lebanon are very Greek-like.
Yeah.
That's
Very, very
Mediterranean
Greek-like.
Mediterranean
Yeah, man.
Countries with old histories.
And
Yeah.
they have history, dude. Anyways,
It was green. It was nice.
when the government
Those
doesn't take
colors.
care of the people and they take care of themselves, dude. India is a fucking good example, bro. India is ancient as fuck, right? But it's always, India, Pakistan, all those places, Pakistan, is it's more interesting and it's easier for you to rule if you divide the people based on religion or whatever the fuck to get them to fight, and you create favelas. But these are places that have existed long before, like the modern countries. These are places that were ready to be living in the 21st century.
India
that everyone fucks
interesting
over.
example.
India and China, well, it's funny because China revamped, but India, it's used by the rest of the Western world in order to manufacture a lot of goods. So you need them to be at you push them down. China was the same way until China stepped in because they're like, you know what, fuck that. We're gonna make your shit, but we're gonna own the slaves, not you guys. So they created a two-caste system there too.
Honestly, India and China, I look at them as examples of because they never had a massive religious shift, right? So their ancient culture just progressed into the natural order of things, into the modern world. Whereas like countries in Europe, Christianity creates a clear and very precise break in cultural development. And then you go into Dark Ages. So you wonder, what would Europe have looked like if paganism had, if Christianity never happened? What would the world have been? It's so interesting.
But
I love to think about stuff like that.
There's it's crazy because if you look at it, in North Africa especially, Islam ruined it a lot when they pushed it again, when they brought it back, when they started giving it to hardcore fanatics.
It erased cultures.
Yeah, it erased cultures. But they don't want, people don't want to mention that because now that's the culture they have, they adopted. But most of those countries, when they were at their peak and stuff, it had nothing to do with Islam.
No, of course not.
Tunisians were Carthage.
Yeah.
Egyptians, it's if you want to talk about real Egypt, they're not Arab.
Bro, just go Google videos from Egypt in the 1950s.
Dude, it's crazy how
1950s?
I keep saying we had nothing to do with it, but
I'm
the Western world,
very, very modern.
Oh, Egypt,
was,
Egypt
was,
of course.
Yeah, it's all so because now we have this. We conceptualize things as the way we see it now. So people assume look, they just didn't evolve as much. They're back in. Dude, they were at the same fucking level, if not better, in certain places.
Yeah.
And we took advantage and we threw in different fucking sects. We gave power to religious fanatics just so we could take over the fucking countries, and that's what caused this downfall now. So at least say the truth. What I'm saying is, yes, there's fuckery, but admit that our selfishness in the Western world to take over these places, at least take over the resources, is what led to them backtracking. They haven't always been like this.
Yeah, women were allowed to wear swimsuits in Egypt.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It was, and then now it's look, fanatics. We paved the way so that could happen, so we could buy their shit for cheap, and sell it back to them.
But Egypt isn't that extreme. I mean, it's not Iran, right?
No, it hasn't gotten to that level.
It was at one point. It had gotten to that level at one point.
But no, Egypt was
before the Arab Spring.
Egypt in the 50s, was more modern than.
Oh, in the 50s, sure.
Than a lot of places.
Yeah,
here.
but
it's time to,
we needed stuff from them.
It's time to make like the Egyptians and plug.
It was not necessarily horrible during the Dark Ages. No, the Dark Ages, we just didn't record a lot of stuff. But it's not that everyone was living in squalor.
Veron's talking about the fact that the Eastern Roman Empire flourished.
Oh, it did flourish for 1,000 years.
I specifically said, Veron, most of Europe. I didn't include Greece in that, and I wasn't specific because if you look at Christianity in the Eastern tradition, like the Orthodox tradition, and you look at ancient Greek, like Hellenic paganism, those are the most two similar different religions I have ever seen because they just... saints for lower gods. All of it. It's so much transferred from one to the other that there was a continuation. But you look at what happened in the West, in the Papal States and before the Papal States, it's a very different kind of there's a reason that Greece was a launching pad for Christianity, not only because of where it was, but because of how similar the lore and the traditions were to their own religion, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Listen, guys, head over to patreon.com/Pantelis if you don't want to be a NASA shill. Patreon.com/Pantelis is how you join the Pantelis Nation. And also, ask the Flat Earther in the chat, what about that imaginary arbitrary line that separates night and day in their model? How does it exist? This is a light source, but it stops here to make it equal. Because it's nonsense. The Earth is not flat. You are a moron. The gentleman in front of me has a bald, round head. It's Phil Balabanos. He is also a filmmaker. He could make your commercial for you. Links in the description. He's not podcasting.
This is a flat
he
head.
can also make a commercial for you to make you look legitimate, and there might be some arbitrary line separating night and day because it's fake. Poseidon can be found on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ThePoseidon69. He plays video games against children. Children who also understand that the earth is not flat. ThePoseidon69 also on Twitter and Instagram. We got George Chanjizos from the South Shore.
The shore.
The shore exists for a reason. The earth is not flat. There is no ice wall separating us from George. That is just insane. You are a dummy. NASA, full of shit, full of a lot of shit. However, Earth, definitely a goddamn globe. You fucking dummies. Patreon.com/Pantelis. Check out the Backstage podcast. Check out Just Us Dads. Yeah, our boy George drops podcasts weekly. Boy George talks about having kids on this planet, this globe of a planet, and how difficult it is to raise them now. Just Us Dads.
On a globe.
Flat Earthers hate it, but mothers love it. Just Us Dads, weekly episodes, links in the description. Don't forget Fill My Hole, Phil's other podcast, weekly, when he has time to do it.
I did it. It's there. You can see
There's
it.
an episode right
Hey.
there. All right, guys. Be safe. Don't fall for the government propaganda, and definitely don't fall for the Earth being a triangle, a pan, or whatever the fuck
Or a
they're trying to tell you.
pentagon.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and go fuck yourselves.
Tus gamises.